wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating.
go, baby. Let's go. Gonna dance today, maybe. Bring the money, I bring the dance. Let's go. The Mets night? Yeah, I'm kind of wearing the same outfit for the last couple days because I'm gonna be using footage from 3 different streams. Behind a smile I can fade away. So sometimes Sometimes you see my outfit and it's actually designed to be able to use clothing from multiple streams or use footage from multiple streams. It's in the way, let's go. Who could be looting me? Dude, that video was funny. Let's go. I'm tripping. I'm I've been here a while, but I won't unpack. I give you my all, but I won't give back. Maybe I'm crazy, but I see it in you and me. It's in the way, it's in the way. Tell me who could be once he looted me. Tell me who could be once he looted me. Let's go. Bannon. Oh, Bannon adds layers to his clothing. Guess I'm in your veins. It could be anything. Heaven. I'm Oh, shit. Let's go. All right. Hold on. I forgot to check my fucking internet speed here. And, oh, good. It is the 5G. Let's go. All right. All right. Dude, how we doing? How we doing, people? Got a couple song intro. We get it going. Good morning from the Netherlands. Let's go. We got Netherlands. We got Chicago. Oh, shit. We got me. I'm here. We're all here. Fucking getting it going. Dude, is it Friday? It is Friday. So this weekend, just a little bit of an FYI. It's going to be a slightly unpredictable schedule on Sunday. So here's what's happening. All right. So Sunday afternoon, I am going to the Mariners game. So I'm going to go to Seattle. I'm going to go to the Mariners game. So I will be streaming Sunday night. I don't know like what the video output on Sunday will be like. It'll probably just be a morning video and then a couple of shorts. But what that means though is Saturday, tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming early. I'm streaming from like 8 p.m. Pacific to 10 p.m. So I'm going to be streaming 3 hours before I normally start. Just an FYI. And it's going to be a short stream tomorrow, 8 to 10 p.m. And boom. And then I'm out. Because I got to be able to get some sleep. I got to get up at like 7 in the morning to go to Seattle. So tomorrow's going to be a very unusual schedule. Right? Then tomorrow, Sunday night, we'll be back to normal. Back to the late night. So no Sunday morning show for you. No. I mean, you'll be able to wake up Sunday morning and you'll be able to watch the live show. It will be there for you to watch, but you won't be able to catch it live. All right. But so that's the little bit of schedule change that's happening this weekend. So I can go to a Mariners game. Taking Bryce and his girlfriend to the Mariners game. Looking forward to it. I've kind of become a Mariners fan recently. Unexpectedly, right? I was never really a baseball fan, but Bryce is a big baseball fan. And so I started sort of kind of following the Mariners because I know he's moving away. It'll be a way for us to sort of like keep in touch and shit around the game. Second mortgage for a hot dog and nachos. Yeah, I mean, that shit's pretty expensive. But dude, Jenny and I go see movies every week. So I'm sort of used to the high price concessions. Baseball's actually pretty cheap, dude, comparatively. Dude, Cal Raleigh really came through today. That was crazy. I mean, dude, he's been off. He's had several games of struggling, strikeouts, right? Real rough go of it, a lot of pop-ups. And then today, he hits a fucking 3-run homer with 2 outs. Right? Oh, shit. Dude, it was fucking beautiful, bro. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, 3-run homer. They just needed to get 3 outs. Game over. Fucking unbelievable, man. Dude, he's been in like a 2-day, 3-day slump. But that's what you need, right? Need to come out of that slump at the perfect time. But dude, all right. So, how we living? How we living on this beautiful Friday night? Living large? Yeah, I mean, it's part of the deal. Dude, yeah, no, the Mariners are doing really good. I'll be quite honest with you. So there's a young guy on the Mariners, this guy named Cole Young. And he got called up midway through the season, you know, just before the All-Star break. And it's interesting, once they called him up, it like really sort of rejuvenated the energy. And then he had that little walk-off squib hit in his very first game. He's super young. But so I don't know if you guys do this, but so a technique that I do, I'm going to tell you why I'm super fascinated with Cole Young. So a technique that I do is I find somebody to root for that is like, you know, can parallel my journey. And I do this, okay? When I make a big change in my life, I will find somebody else who's made a big change in their life, and I will find a parallel of my journey, somebody that I can root for that's not me, that allows me to sort of like root for another human being to succeed in the way that I want to succeed. And Cole Young of the Mariners has become that guy for me right now. Because so what ended up happening is the last 2 years I've gone through this major transition from being a very successful Fortnite gaming streamer to going into this political streaming. Politics has always been my passion, but I've never gone into it before. I mean, I've done local political shit, but I never thought of it as like a career. Now, when I gave up gaming, it was very hard. I lost all my money and my fan base, and I went from being like super famous to streaming every day for like 20 people. And right, and you know, starting a new YouTube channel where my videos were getting like 50 views. I mean, it was humbling to go from the millions and the tens of thousands a month to nothing, okay? And it was a 2-year sort of transition, and it was very, very difficult. Now, my channel started to sort of blow up after the election, okay? And then Cole Young, right? The silver plaque is with Fortnite. Yeah, that's from Fortnite YouTube. And so right as my channel started to blow up, and this Cole Young kid joined the Mariners. And he's like brand new. Of course, he's like super skilled and shit, but a brand new, first time getting called up to the major leagues. So I've been sort of rooting for him as a way of rooting for myself and putting this sort of like, because I feel like it's a parallel journey. Like, you know, ending up in the big leagues, it's a very different thing. Right now I'm in the political world. I fucking, you know, meet Brian Tyler Cohen, and all of a sudden I'm hanging out and getting to know people that are very well established. And I'm like the newcomer, the rookie, doesn't really know what he's doing, just learning as he goes. So yeah, so Cole Young has been like just somebody that I've been rooting for, that is reinforcing my own journey. And it's been amazing so far, right? Let's go. Dude, let's go, Rambo. Appreciate you, boss. And yeah, dude, I did. I saw his homer. That was a big one. But Tabitha got you here. Let's go. Dude, I love Tabitha. I think she did something else. I saw some people that were saying like Tabitha sent me. So I don't know. She must have mentioned us again. Did she share a little bit? Oh, nice. Nice. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I've been rooting for Cole Young a lot. And dude, and the ups and downs of that journey, dude, as a parallel. I don't know if you guys do that, but I highly suggest when you do a life transition or you do a change, if you can find somebody else that is sort of like what feels like a similar journey and you can root for them, it's a super great way of cultivating a lot of supportive energy for yourself by investing in another human being. And I think that's what makes it so magical, because rooting for yourself, like we all do that, but that's also inherently selfish. But rooting for another human being's successes that is running a parallel journey is a little bit of a way of getting outside yourself and cultivating the similar type of energy that you want to cultivate for you, but you're cultivating it for somebody else. And it's magical, dude. It fucking works, bro. I'm telling you, it works wonders. It's a little trick of the trade, man. For me, at least. You know, I'm an energy guy, and I'm a believer in gratitude, guys. I am. I feel like gratitude fucking can get us out of the woods. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. All right. Now, that being said, I want to sort of burn through some stuff today. There's a number of things I want to look at. I found that Charlie Kirk. Oh my God, dude. The fucking, have you guys seen the Charlie Kirk, that little clip? Holy shit, dude. The one where he's talking about Trump being manly. Dude, we got to look at this. We got to look at this. Humility as well. Yeah, humility's good. I'm not that great with humility, guys. I try my best, but humility's a little more challenging for me. I can do gratitude a lot, right? I can do gratitude really well. Humility, yeah, I do it a little bit, but mostly I stay somewhat arrogant. I do. It's a curse, but it's also, you know, it's you know, whatevs. So part of my charm. Yeah, the Charlie Kirk Twitter clip. I think this clip is funny, dude. Let's look at this shit, okay? By the way, guys, I have something else here. Look at what I have, guys. You ready? From the fucking Florida docket. All right. This is from 2007, right? You know what I got down here? I have Jeffrey Epstein's non-prosecution agreement. Isn't that crazy? We're going to look at that today too, dude. Jeffrey Epstein's non-prosecution agreement. Oh, Lord. So yeah, this Charlie Kirk clip is something to behold, though, because let's take a look at this guy, right? Let's take a look at this bad boy. This one is funny. Now, I don't know if we have a bigger, like if there's obviously there's a wider context to this, whatever this show was on. The lighting is actually really nice in this thing. I'm going to praise that. It's probably the only thing I'm going to praise. Right? So, dude, so this is Charlie Kirk. Who's he talking to here? Do we know who this guy is? I don't know who this old guy is. Anyone know who this old guy is? Dude, no clue. Yeah, he kind of is like the old white guy version of 𝗙𝗙𝗃𝗃. He's dressed like 𝗙𝗃𝗃. Nazi Santa. Dude, that could be 𝗙𝗃𝗃's fucking alternate reality, right? You had trouble finding the source? Yeah. So anyway, isn't he dressed like 𝗙𝗃𝗃? Dude, is this 𝗙𝗃𝗃? Oh, Shanky! Oh! But look at this phrase here, okay, where it says, there's a lot you can call Donald Trump. No one has ever called him feminine. Trump is a giant middle finger to all the screeching hall monitors that attacked young men for just existing. Now, I don't remember young men getting attacked for just existing. And I don't see why the Me Too movement and accountability for men being less toxically masculine, I don't feel like that's attacking young men at all. All right, but he's a giant FU to the feminist establishment that was never challenged before he came down the golden escalator. Most of the media missed this. Young men did not. Now, this is really, right? This is really intriguing because if you just look at this, right? Look at how misogynist just this paragraph is, right? Right? I mean, just that opening line. There's a lot you can call Donald Trump. No one has ever called him feminine, which means feminine bad. Okay? In MAGA, Charlie Kirk, whatever. I mean, you know, they're hand jiving with Andrew Tate and all the other rapists, Russell Brand. So feminine bad, right? If you get called feminine, it's like feminine's weakness to them. It's bad. It's not tough. It's not powerful, not good leadership, right? I mean, it's right out there. And then he says he's a giant middle finger to the screeching hall monitors. So now the people that are pushing for equity and for a good life for everybody, opportunity for everyone, you're a screeching hall monitor, right? If you hold men accountable for their behavior, you're a screeching hall monitor that is attacking men. Let's go, Willem. Let's go, baby. Dude, should we do a dance goal? Yeah, let's do one. I'll set one up. There it is. Right? So you see what I'm saying? Like, accountability is, there it is. 1 hour, baby. Let's go. Accountability is a screeching hall monitor. And then this one right here, too. He's a giant FU to the feminist establishment that was never challenged before he came down the golden escalator. Right? And FU. So like, feminism is like, fuck you. They wanted fuck you to feminism, is what they say. So, yeah, the misogyny in this statement is like super loaded. Super loaded. And again, these are the two cores of MAGA. I mean, the way I look at MAGA, it really is, it's three things, but two core. Number one is racism, okay? It's about, you know, not replacing the white people, the white people with high birth rates. The white people are the ones with merit, right? So the racism is on top. Right below the racism is the misogyny, which is the men on top. I mean, you could argue that which one's actually on top, whether it's racism or misogyny. You could make an argument there that it sort of shifts. But those are the two core. And then, of course, Christianity is the third pillar, right? White male Christian. Okay? But yeah, let's watch this little bit right here.
The cultural paradigm right now is a rebellion of the men of the West. It's happening in every major country, where young men are finding podcasts like ours. They're finding other information conduits that believe in nature, believe in God's design, believe that men should have to stand up for the vulnerable, create a family, provide for the family, have to protect the weak, to fight the battles of society, to go on an adventure. This is very appealing to young men when they hear it.
Dude, I'm sorry. We're going to go back and unpack this. I'm sorry to laugh in the middle, but like, my God, dude, they have such a warped sense of what they actually think they're about. But here we go.
There's a lot that you can call Donald Trump. No one has ever called him feminine.
Right.
In a toxically feminine world, again, all the media missed this and almost every cultural critic missed it. We didn't. In a toxically feminine world, you have the absolute inverse of that, which is like ultra masculine. Never apologize, red tie, big plane, super rich, supermodel wife, right? It's going to be big, and Mexico's going to pay for it, and we get more tariffs, and it's like as bravado, strong men as you can get. And
you could also call that cliche, right? Cliche, the microphone bob, oh my God, of his hairline. Dude, yeah. Dude, I mean, Donald Trump is every cliche of toxic manhood, but we'll continue.
Young men didn't care that, it wasn't even about policy. That's what people don't understand, is that it was partially policy. It was like, no, he is the middle finger to all of the screeching hall monitors that have told me I have to use certain pronouns.
Dude, yeah, we know it wasn't about policy. We know it's about racism, misogyny, and just white men being able to be fucking toxic douchebags and get away with it. That's really what they want. Yeah, dude, the pronouns are like, oh my God, you have to use pronouns. Oh, poor Charlie. How is he going to survive? I mean, you got to wonder, how tough are these men? Men, I use that term loosely, when having to use a pronoun fucks them all up, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like they have no problem using a pronoun for God. God doesn't have a penis. God is not a he, but they'll throw pronouns out for God all day long, right? Right? You know what I mean? But oh shit, you have to use the word they singular, which I mean, a lot of times you actually do that, right? You know what I'm saying? That happens in regular language a lot. But using the pronoun they just fucked them up so badly. Like, oh my God, they want to burn the whole world to the ground because of they.
That have told me that like I'm bad for existing, that have penalized me for my existence.
Penalized him. Oh, penalized. Charlie Kirk has been penalized for his existence. How? How? I mean, I get it. Nature penalized him with those gums and that ugly fucking mug of his. Like, I get that. But that's not on me, dude. Take that up with your God, bro. You know what I mean? Penalized. Penalized for existence.
And Trump is the big FU to the feminist establishment that has not been challenged my entire life.
Okay, so we got to look at this. All right, look at Charlie. Charlie's like, man, yeah, you woke feminine. You're going to make guys be nice and vulnerable, and we're going to use pronouns, and I don't want to do that, so fuck you. We're going to elect this rapist, criminal, degenerate, mean, nasty, low-grade human being so he can be like, fuck off to all the people that want us to be humane and care about others, right? That's essentially what he's saying. But let's look at the beginning of this, because look at the shit he says. I know, the feminist establishment. Like, dude, these guys are so threatened by women. Charlie, go make me a sandwich, bitch. Dude, yeah, Charlie should make me a sandwich. Dude, Charlie definitely makes Donnie Trump sandwiches, all right? But anyway, so you ready for this, guys? Let's listen to the beginning here. Okay, let's listen to the beginning, because listen to what he says here about like being a man, about what young men are hungry for. Let's listen to this.
Cultural paradigm right now is a rebellion of the men of the West. It's happening.
A rebellion of the men of the West. All right. These are the Christian fraternity members, the real men of the West, right? ASU fucking Greek system men. All right, here we go. But listen to this.
Happening in every major country, where young men are finding podcasts like ours. They're finding other, information conduits that believe in nature.
That believe in nature. All right. This is coded. All right. Because what is nature? Look at him, dude. Dude, he looks like a 60-year-old woman, bro. Jesus, dude. They are lovers of men. Look at him, though. My God, bro. Tell me this guy doesn't look like a 60-year-old woman, dude. Dude, look at that. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Yeah. But so when they say nature, though, guys, they're talking about men on top, right? Nature means men rule, okay? When he says nature, it's about men rule. It's about no non-binary, no trans existence. No gay. It's straight men, okay? He follows it up after he says nature. He goes right into the Bible, into God. But it's their idea of nature is that their way is the natural way, the way it's supposed to be on earth, and everybody else is like below them, not them, right? Their nature, okay? When in fact, guys, if you look at nature, if we really look at nature, what is it? There's 1,000 exceptions. There's no consistency, constant evolution, constant change, right? There's no, like, nature is unrestricted with evolution and the way it evolves, and nature just changes to meet the circumstances, the habitat, right? If you take animals and change their habitat, they evolve, right? They do. They evolve and they become different. And there's all kinds of animals that break the natural order of things according to the way they believe. There's all kinds of wonders out in nature. And none of it is like consistent and fits in boxes. Okay, but anyway, let's go on.
Believe in God's design. Believe that men should have to stand up for the vulnerable.
All right, believe in God's design. He says, believe that men should stand up for the vulnerable. Huh? Where does MAGA do that, bro? Right? What vulnerable do MAGA stand up for? Stand up for the vulnerable? Dude, I'm really curious. Anybody got any ideas? Can we brainstorm what he's talking about with the vulnerable? What does he even mean there? Right? I've never seen MAGA stand up for the vulnerable. I mean, I see them look at the vulnerable and insist, you're not vulnerable. Like, quit being so lazy. Right? I mean, that's baffling, to stand up for the vulnerable.
Create a family, provide for the family, have to protect the weak, to fight the battles of society.
All right, to provide for the family, have to protect the weak and fight the battles of society. Dude, I mean, they basically criminalize weakness, right? I mean, his whole speech is about weak is bad. That's why they like the criminal, rapist, degenerate Donald Trump, right? You know what I'm saying? But you see how they have this warped sense of like heroism that they don't actually match in real life, because he's like, they're fighting for the weak. But dude, they literally like attack the weak at every possible fucking, like every possible moment they can. They're literally attacking the weak.
To go on an adventure. This is very appealing to young men when they hear it. There's a lot that you can call Donald Trump. No one has ever called him feminine.
Now, again, I think there's a case for calling Donald Trump feminine. I actually think there is. Okay, first off, when you look at his what he looks like, okay, and now again, this is making some leaps here because I don't want to generalize, okay, because masculine and feminine, there's no real way to generalize this. So what I'm doing, though, is I'm breaking it down towards their standards, okay? I'm breaking it down to what they consider standards of woman, okay? And so if we look at him, the first thing we notice, this is like Republican standards of women. The first thing we notice, obviously, is the bronzer, okay? The makeup. The guy wears more makeup than his wife does. The guy wears more makeup than most women. He's literally 2 different colors, okay? He wears makeup like in a gaudy sort of like, 1700s aristocrat kind of way, okay? Right? Gaudy, 2 neckline, different color of the face, right? Crazy fucking makeup, okay? Bronzer smeared on there like a turnip, with like a sweaty turnip. All right, number 2 is his hair, okay? He styles his hair in a like 1950s woman sort of way where it's frozen solid, curved just the right way, like the women used to do in the 50s when they would sit under a hairdryer and shit. He like styles his hair so precisely to coif his head, and it looks like he's wearing a fucking helmet of hair, okay? You know what I mean? He did scalp reductions, okay? So he has actually had vanity facial and head care, right? Vanity scalp reductions, and right? So he does, very vanity gender affirming care to the hilt, okay? He dyes his hair and alters his hair in many, many ways, right? Somebody said the neckgina. Yeah, but I don't know that that's feminine. That's just gross old man. Okay. The other thing he does is like possibly lifts. I think he does something orthopedically with his shoes. He definitely stands kind of like a woman in heels with the leaning forward. Okay. He has a very feminine posture. If you've seen like women in heels, he does that forward leaning posture, and I would not be surprised if there's some lifts involved. Right? I mean, I think there are lifts involved. That's why, even when he got shot at in Butler, he was like, give me my shoes, I gotta have my shoes, right? I mean, he is very appearance centric, okay? Very vain about his appearance. Now, I don't think women are vain necessarily, but the general tenor of femininity, according to MAGA, is that women are overly concerned about their appearance, and they're vain, and they're concerned about breaking a nail or all that. That's Trump. Germophobic, worried about scuffing his outfit or metaphorically breaking a nail. He is incredibly concerned with how he looks, incredibly concerned with how he is received. Very feminine, according to them. Okay, I'm using their definition of femininity. So when you look at Trump, okay? There's a lot about him that is feminine according to how MAGA views feminine. I mean, he is short-tempered. He's moody. You could say that often he's probably, it's that time of the month for him. Again, I don't engage in that kind of shit. I never was one to think my girlfriends were being affected by the time of the month, but that's a trope that MAGA is very much about. He is absolutely it's his time of the month kind of guy. Can't let shit go. I mean, he is one of the more, I don't know, feminine fucking, right? I mean, and what's more, he tries to hide all that stuff through being a cliche. Okay, he is like the cliche of all cliches, according to men, right? Like what Charlie Kirk is going to list some things. Dude, he is 100% a diva. Oh my God, what a great word, Marisol. He is a diva. Yes. The catheter in chief. Oh, shit. Oh, all right. So that's who this guy is. No, I know who. So this is that crazy right-wing pastor. I was watching it. Yeah. Oh, he does use a gay anthem for his signature song, the double hand job, right? But all right, hold on. Charlie's going to go on.
All right. In a toxically feminine world, again, all the media...
In a toxically feminine world, right? I've not found the world of the last 5 years toxically feminine, but a toxically feminine world. Dude, they took toxic masculinity and spun it on its ear.
Missed this, and almost every cultural critic missed it. We didn't. In a toxically feminine world, you have the absolute inverse of that, which is like ultra masculine.
Yeah, which is a rapist, right? In a world where femininity is gaining power, the rapist is in fact the opposite of that. So I'll give him that. The rapist, the abuser, yes, is the opposite of feminine power. Because there's no toxic femininity, but females are gaining power for sure. They've been gaining a lot of power as they deserve. And Me Too definitely expanded that. But yeah, they're so insecure. But let's hear his little cliches of manhood here.
Ultra masculine. Never apologize. Red tie. Big plane. Super rich. Supermodel wife.
Okay, so never apologizes. They think that's real manly. Never apologizing? Dude, how cliche is that, bro? Like, that makes you tough because you don't apologize? Dude, that just makes you abuse people more when you don't apologize. You literally are fucking fighting your own shame, right? The red tie. All right, I didn't realize the red tie was so masculine. Big plane. Yeah, big truck. Big plane. Tiny fucking pee-pee, right? Supermodel wife. Ooh. There you go again, woman as a trophy, a supermodel, be best. Supermodel, but be best. Jesus, dude. Dude, Melania is like the Hamburglar in drag. But all right. So again, though, look at what Charlie, though. Look at what Charlie's big, like, ultra masculine signs were, right? Never apologize, red tie, big plane, super rich, supermodel wife. Okay, now, what of those, name me one of those things he listed that is even good. Like, what about those things? Never apologizing? That's not good. That's harmful to the person who's never apologizing and everyone within arm's reach of them. Okay, red tie. Anybody can wear a red tie. That doesn't mean anything. Big plane. Anybody can have a big plane if you make enough money, but it doesn't say anything about your character. Super rich. All right, he was born into it. He didn't even do that. That was like that was a given. And supermodel wife. All right. Dude, yeah, you think she's there because of the money, right? She sure ain't there because of love, because he cheated on her multiple times. She stayed there obviously for something. Their relationship isn't based on love or anything good, right? There's nothing about that, though. Those things he listed, like none of those are good, right? None of those are good. Yeah, they're literally a 12-year-old's criteria. Yeah, it is like, I think 12 might be high bar, right? An 8-year-old boy might think those things are like, you know, oh yeah, oh, right? Manly. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit.
Right? It's going to be big, and Mexico's going to pay for it. And
Mexico's going to pay for it, but they didn't.
More tariffs, and it's like as bravado strongman as you can get.
As bravado strongman as you can get. As cliched and stereotypical and fucking like unoriginal as you can get. All right?
And young men didn't care that, you know, it wasn't even about policy. That's what people don't understand. Is that it was partially policy. It was like, no, he is the middle finger to all of the screeching hall monitors that have told me I have to use certain pronouns, that have told me that, like, I'm bad for existing, that have penalized me for my existence.
Dude, penalized him. I'm sorry. I can't hear Charlie Kirk talking about being penalized for his existence, right? Dude.
And Trump is the big FU to the feminist establishment that has not been challenged my entire life.
So dude, Trump is the 12-year-old FU to a perceived threat from his mommy. And that's really what it is. This is why I don't think it's sustainable, guys. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And I like what you said about the model, too. Blaz, let's go, baby. The Dainty Dandy Diva Don Dance donation. Big time. Let's go, baby. So like, yeah, Melania, she wasn't a supermodel. I mean, she was a model. But, dude, I don't think she ever achieved supermodel status. Nobody ever knew Melania for her modeling. Like, no one. Not a single person knew Melania from her modeling work. Okay? The only thing she's ever been known for is being the woman that Donald Trump cheats on all the time. That's it. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's it. Be best. Right? Dude. But it's pretty wild though, Grant. It's pretty wild. See, this is crazy though. But let me tell you why this is unsustainable, guys. Okay? The reason why this is unsustainable is because he said it's not about policy. And they're right. We know that it's not about policy. It was never about policy. It was about the weaponization of hatred and the weaponization of a toxic masculinity that the world is evolving beyond. And so now they got Trump up there being their king of toxic masculinity, which gives them license to be rude, to whatever, to be hateful, be anti-trans, be homophobic, be racist, you know, grasp for power, put everyone down. But we know this shit is not sustainable. And what's more, when they talk about woke is dead, we know that wokeness is already the basic language, okay? Like a language of equity and seeking, you know, equitable outcomes and seeking harmony with the planet. Like we're already, that is the base language. You know, you're never going to take that away. We're never going to be able to be led back to like, you know, unqualified white guys getting the job without there being a revolt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to go back to that. It's too late. It's like the same with the gender. Okay. When transgender people have power now, they're in state houses, they're in Congress, they're in executive positions, they own businesses, they're in worldwide government. Transgender people are not going back in the bottle. That genie will never go back in the bottle. No matter how much they scrimp and scratch and overcompensate and try to pass laws, the fight is already won. Okay? Same with like being LGBTQ. You can't stamp that shit out now. You know what I'm saying? it's done. Like the gender binary's already been fractured. Okay, now we don't know what it's going to look like in 20 years, but we're not going to go back to the 1950s, right? We're just never going to go back to the 1950s. So their reactionary battle here is like, doesn't have a long-term outcome for them, right? Like for example, you know what it is? I feel like, here, I'm going to put it out for you in one sentence. You ready? Donald Trump and Trumpism and the manosphere is the midlife crisis of the civil rights movement. That's what we're at, guys. We are at the midlife crisis of the civil rights movement. A black man becomes president. Equity starts like expressing itself all over the place. And now there's a like, nope, we're going to go back to the 1950s, right? We're going to go back to the 1950s. But the reality is we're not. We're not. They're going to do a bunch of token shit like a midlife crisis guy does. The midlife crisis dad isn't going to ever be 20 again. But he's going to buy the convertible. He's going to get the young girlfriend. He's going to like whatever. But it doesn't last because he can't actually go back. And that's what I believe Trumpism is, this like, I feel like it's this temporary rebellion, this midlife crisis moment in a much larger sea change of evolutionary growth, like fueled by rapid technological advancement and fueled by a whole bunch of men healing their generational trauma and healing that legacy of toxic masculinity that we were put into. And so there's no such thing as politically correct, boss. Okay? That's just crybabies who don't want to fucking be like, you know, respectful, who right? That's the political correctness is bullshit. There's always social pressure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's always been social pressure. My God, if you went to the 1940s and a woman got pregnant out of wedlock, she was like treated a certain way for getting pregnant out of wedlock. It wasn't a law. It wasn't a rule, but it was a social pressure. You behaved in a way that now we're going to ostracize you because you got pregnant out of wedlock. So tell me, like, you know, that's not any different. There's always been social pressure. The difference is in 1940, the social pressure never applied to men. It never applied to white men, okay? Now the consequences also apply to white men, and the white men are all fucking, like, pissing themselves over it. But to act like there hasn't been a politically correct way of living, like, my God, dude, look at what the Beatles did. They said we're bigger than Jesus, and everybody burned their fucking records because saying you were bigger than Jesus was not politically correct in the 1960s. It's always been that way. There's always been social pressures. Let's go, Boston Brian. There's always been consequences for like stepping out of line with whatever the dominant thought mode is at the time or the social values of the time. So their reaction, though, to political correctness and all this is simply because white men were being held accountable, okay? And that's really why they like Donald Trump, is he's never held accountable. He says, fuck you, he's a sociopath, he fucking hurts people, never apologizes, takes no accountability, and will fucking burn down the whole goddamn world to avoid fucking, you know, being held accountable. And they love that. They would want that more than anything. They don't want accountability. But this is all bullshit. Dude, it is. It's all bullshit. Right? Acting like, oh, it's so unreasonable. Oh, that Charlie had to use a pronoun. Oh, Charlie, I'm going to come massage your prostate with a fucking hot poker. All right, let me get in there. Yeah, let me get you a fucking good old massage, bro. Dude. Poor guy had to use a pronoun. Is that why his fucking face is so fucked up? Did pronouns do that to his face? Look at that, dude. Pronouns really fucked his face up. You know what I mean? Dude, look at that, dude. This is what pronouns. This is your face. I may have to fucking screenshot this, guys. Dude, I may have to fucking... We may have to tweet that. Dude. Dude, that's it, bro. Oh, shit, dude. Dude, he is so ugly. I'm sorry, dude. Charlie Kirk, he's so ugly, dude. Dude, you know who he is? You know who he is? Dude, you ready? You're not going to be able to fucking unsee this, dude. I'm going to show you exactly who Charlie Kirk stole his look from. All right, you ready? Watch this. Here it comes, boss. It's from one of my favorite movies of all time. Seriously. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I used to wait when I was a kid. I fucking love seeing it. I'm going to show you Charlie Kirk's look, dude. 100%, dude. You ready? Here it comes, boss. There it is, dude. It's the guy from Rudolph. Dude, tell me that's not him, bro. That is 100% fucking Charlie Kirk, dude. The guy who wanted to be a dentist, right? And fucking the elf who was no good at being an elf wanted to be a dentist. Dude. Except this guy was really nice and good to the Bumble and shit. Charlie would have probably enslaved the Bumble. Dude, Herbie? Is that his name? Is that his name, Herbie? Dude, I love him. He's great. Dude, Rudolph, dude, this shit was my fucking, my jam, dude. Bumble's Bounce, Yukon Cornelius and Rudolph. I loved Rudolph, dude. But tell me, dude, that's not fucking... Charlie Kirk is like the evil, unqualified fucking... Is this guy... Is it Herbie? Is that who it is? Hermie or Herbie? I don't know. What's his name? Dude, the Isle of Misfit Toys. But, dude, I can't... Every time I see Charlie Kirk, dude, I can't fucking not see this guy. Dude, I just went up 10 spots in your book. Let's go. Dude, it's true, bro. Dude. Oh, shit. Let's fucking go, baby. Dude, that movie was so good. Tell me that movie is not like the most amazing movie ever. It is, dude. Love that movie. That movie is fucking so good, bro. Like, as a kid, it would come on and I would always mark the day because you couldn't watch it on like a streaming service. It was just on and you had to fucking catch it while it was there. So, dude, I would look out for that and we would fucking, that was a big thing, the claymation. But yeah, dude, Charlie. So here's the thing, guys. I'm not sure how Democrats fix this MAGA stuff. I think in a way we have to let it flame out, okay? Because the reality is I don't think you win those guys, okay? The guys that are really buying into MAGA are buying into it because it's allowing them to be venomous. And I don't think you can go offer venomous people like compassion and sensitivity. I think they have to learn it. I think they have to go out and be venomous and get punched in the fucking face by life. And then they learn that way. I just don't, You know what I mean? I don't know if there's a messaging fix for this. You know, I really don't. I know they keep saying like, oh, the messaging fix, you know, and the Democrat messaging fix. And I just don't fucking see that there, you know, there's not a message of peace that's going to, when they're seeking, like, when they're seeking an excuse and defense of being toxic, you're not going to be able to sort of compete with that, right? You know what I mean? And so I mean, I think really, it's hard. It's hard because you ready? That's all the Rogan bros wanted. Yeah, I mean, dude, the Rogan bros, we know that the Rogan bros just want to be able to say the N-word without consequences. Let's be honest. They want to be able to dominate women and say the N-word and have no consequences. That's all of that UFC shit, right? The woman is supposed to be a quiet trophy that is interchangeable. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be curious because I just think, like Charlie said, they're not even reacting to policy. Okay. The young guys, the young men wearing MAGA hats that voted for Donald Trump didn't even know about his policies. And they don't even care about policies because they're white men. None of the policies affect them anyway. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted that fucking venom, you know? You know what I mean? They wanted that venom, right? Would I have on a guest? Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm gonna have on Hank Thompson pretty soon, actually, right? To talk about Cenk Uygur and the union. So yeah, I might have some guests. I don't, it's not like a huge priority for me though. I mean, I know it probably should be, but it's just not, right? Because I mean, I was a one-man indie rock band. And I liked being a one-man band more than I liked being a three-man band. Right? I don't know. I just like the lower number of people possible, the better for me, right? So we'll see. But I'm going to slowly evolve and have an occasional guest. But as far as being somebody who has guests a lot, I don't know if that would ever be me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know that I'm ever going to be a guest kind of like podcaster guy, but you never know. I mean, I might evolve, right? I'm mostly just like rambling through. It's more interacting with other bands than it is having other band members. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the case, you know, but we'll see, right? I just don't, it's not something that I fucking, I don't know. It's not something that I crave. You know what I'm saying? And so that doesn't mean that I won't do it. It's just not something that I crave, right? I like the format I have, which is to just show up and talk. And I really enjoy that, right? I do. I like it. I like just showing up alone and talking. I love that format. And it works really great for me. And then I edit alone and I you know what I'm saying? And so that doesn't mean that I won't evolve, but it's not really something that I crave. And in fact, you know what's wild about it? You know what's wild about it is because YouTube has been sort of like dropping me hints about being more collaborative because YouTube likes that because it definitely feeds their algorithm. But I was like, you know, I don't even know if I want to be more collaborative, right? You know, I'll be honest. You ready? So here's one of the things that's interesting. Because what's crazy about it is I can't stand Matt Walsh, right? Like I fucking just don't like him. but I've always liked his format. Okay, he's mostly just a solo commentator who talks about whatever he wants to talk about, but he's not a like super collab person, right? Like Brian Tyler Cohen is collabing like every day, right? And there are other people that collab like all the time, but I always liked that solo format. So yeah, I don't know, Brian. I may move into having guests. We'll see. But it's not something that I really crave, and so I've not prioritized it. But I'm also like open to whatever. But I am gonna have Hank Thompson on though to talk about Cenk Uygur's union busting, because one thing that I saw about on the Jubilee is Cenk Uygur, in addition to him being like Charlie Kirk. Remember, the personal attacks? You remember that, guys? The minute somebody said, hey, why do you take corporate money? Hey, why did you bust a union? He was like, oh, now you're doing personal attacks. It's a very Charlie Kirk sort of thing, right? You know what I'm saying? And what was interesting about it was how Cenk Uygur was not honest, okay? He lied on the Jubilee thing. He misrepresented the way he was and even why they started that union. Because to get the truth about Cenk Uygur, you got to look at why they started the union in the first place, guys. Because you know what the number one thing that was happening? You know what Cenk Uygur, Mr. Progressive, you know what he was doing to his employees? He was taking all of his full-time employees and he was classifying them as gig workers, as independent contractors. So he wouldn't have to pay them a set hourly wage. He could underpay them and had to provide them no benefits. But he was locking them into full-time schedules. So he was forcing his full-time employees to be working not as employees. He was like so fucking like brutally anti-labor. You know what I'm saying? You know, that is shitty, dude. That is shitty. Like no benefits, no like taking out taxes out of their checks so they're left to deal with all the tax shit, and yet requiring a full-time regular schedule, because gig workers don't have a schedule. They have like, you know, they have like fucking whatever. They have deadlines and shit. He was doing that with all his full-time workers, dude. It's brutal, right? Dude, brutal. Tennessee Brando, yeah, he's pretty funny. Dude, I like that Roddy Road Streamer guy too. He's pretty funny as well. But yeah, man. So this stuff though, I feel like talking about manhood is and you know, it's gonna be interesting because right now, guys, we don't know what Gen Alpha has for us, right? That's the big mystery, okay? Because check it out. Because there were a whole bunch of dudes who were 14 in 2021 that, you know, 2020, 14 during the pandemic that voted for Trump in 2024, okay? 4 years from now, they're going to be fucking 22 and they're going to have a different life. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a different fucking life perspective for sure. But I'm really intrigued by what Gen Alpha is going to look like, because Gen Alpha is going to be AI from the beginning, iPad kids from the beginning, like crazy dopamine video games from the beginning. Okay? It's like Gen Alpha is going to be a mystery. Are the Gen Alpha boys, are they going to be red-pilled? Are they going to grow up anti-feminine? I mean, we're seeing that women are getting more and more liberal. Women are getting more and more left-wing. They're getting more and more, you know, like more LGBTQ, more left-wing, more liberal, more social conscious, and at younger ages and shit. Okay? But this is going to be intriguing. It's going to be interesting to see what the Gen Alpha boys are. Because you know what's happening now, guys? And thank you, Australia. Okay, Australia's like canceling social media for kids right now. And so YouTube recently adopted a policy where they're changing the way they handle kid accounts on YouTube. So I suspect with countries starting to adopt a like no kids on social media policy and shit like that, that social media companies are going to be limiting some of the red pilling, I think. I think those rabbit holes, like it's real bad that if you start a brand new like YouTube account or something, you end up in the Joe Rogan, Charlie Kirk, Andrew Tate manosphere like so fast, right? You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy, dude. So yeah, it's going to be intriguing. You know, Gen Alpha is going to be a big mystery, boss. Because what's wild about it is I've heard a lot of these people, a lot of right-wing pundits who say that Gen Z are entitled. And so I think fucking Gen Alpha is going to be incredibly entitled. And not really entitled, they're just growing up in a world where they don't have to exert themselves to have access to like way more information and media than they should be connected to. How much 100,000 subs? I don't know, dude. I'm not into that shit. I'm organic. I don't even promote my fucking channels. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's something I stopped. Like when I was a musician, I was all about like my promoting and being solid about promoting. And once I did the gaming and after my gaming blew up, I just became I'm no longer a promoter. I mean, I do the work. I'm learning to be a good YouTuber. I'm learning how to massage the algorithm and how to like appease it, how to appease the algorithm. But like, I don't promote anymore because I figured the world will find me. You know what I mean? I know you were, dude. Yeah. Dude, I know you were making fun of Benny. I made a video about that, right? I was just thinking about how not only have I never engaged in that kind of botting shit, but the fact that I don't even promote. I believe in natural selection with the promotion. That like if you're gonna blow up, it's gonna be unstoppable. Like you don't like, you know what I mean? We can't choose that shit. Right? You're done trying to comment? Why? Your comments are all over the place, dude. I see you comment all the time. But, you know what I mean? He kept pressing. Who kept pressing? What is the destiny thing? Right? What's the fucking destiny? What happened with Destiny? I did not see what happened with Destiny. Did he send dick pics to more fucking young people or what? What'd he do? Oh, shit. All right. But anyway, I'm glad we covered this Charlie thing, dude. Charlie is fucking... This shit is crazy. Dude, let's look at... I want to look at the some of this Epstein shit. All right? The first thing I want to look at, that is for later. That is for the Donald Trump slavery thing. Hold on.
Trump...
Yeah, this one, we're going to save that. I'm going to put that up top because that... So we're going to do two things here, okay? Dude, you ready? I know, Tim Pool did take the beanie off. Okay, so they called him the leaning Democrat streamer. Oh, who? Fucking Destiny? Dude, I saw somebody talking about Destiny today, too, saying he's like the guy that converts right-wing people. And I think Destiny does have a function. I think Destiny is like a kind of right-winger who is also a left-wing person. And I do think like right-wingers find Destiny and can become left-wingers through him. You know, I wish I had that quality. I don't. I'm like, I feel like I don't have that. I'm not really, I don't think I'm going to convert somebody who's, you know what I mean? See, I think Destiny's a great debater. He's always been a good debater. My thing with him is he just spends too much time with right-wing people. And so, like, he's always hanging out with 𝗙ecie and Andrew Tate. And I don't want to watch those guys, you know? You know what I mean? And, well, CNN, though, it's just mainstream news. They don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, CNN are fucking idiots. But we're going to watch this. I'm not sure what this video is. This is something that Natalie put in the chat that is a weird old video about like modeling agencies and shit. And I feel like this has some type of connection to the Epstein situation. I don't really know what it is, but we're going to look at this and watch this video. And then I also want to look at this Vanity Fair article, right? This is from 2003. In 2003, they did a huge spread on Jeffrey Epstein. And I want to go back and look at what society, look at this thing, dude. This is a crazy fucking spread on Jeffrey Epstein, right? A huge central article. This is 2 years before he got busted. Okay? Isn't that wild? Dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I did not see the CNN thing. So was he on CNN? I mean, my thing is this. You ready, guys? So I don't really, was Destiny himself on CNN? He was. See, I think that's good, guys. Okay? I think that's good because here's the thing. Is it doesn't matter if they say he's the Democrat guy or none of that matters because nobody really fucking believes what CNN does or thinks CNN is like some master thing. But I think anytime there is a brash, outspoken person on CNN, 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏, you know what I'm saying? We have these voices that are not like fucking Washington pundit suits, right? Bow ties and shit, non-bow tied people on CNN. That shit is good, guys. Okay? It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? If fucking, you know what I mean? I mean, I get it. He's a fucking degenerate but whatever. It doesn't even matter. You know, I think just the fact that the more left-wing, like mainstream people end up on CNN and MSNBC, the better. It's good for all of us. You know, it is, right? And whether they call him this, that, or the other, or whether he's a good person or not, none of that is really important because that'll all come out in the wash. But I have personally been excited by seeing two things. One, seeing people like Destiny, seeing independent content creators on mainstream shows, okay? Seeing Politics Girl on CNN, right? You know what I mean? That kind of shit. 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏 on CNN. That's really good for all of us, right? And then the other thing is seeing people who use brash language, seeing politicians say fuck and all that. I think that shit is good too. Right? You know what I'm saying? He's a sexual predator. It's not there. Yeah, but so I don't worry about like Brian, I guess for me, I just don't see CNN is affecting Democrat representation. You know what I mean? I mean, I get your beef that they picked like the worst guy to put out there, but like, you know, it's CNN. I mean, nobody is like looking to them for the correct representation. Everybody talks shit about CNN. You know what I'm saying? But if Destiny can get on CNN, that means I can get on CNN. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Fuck Destiny and fuck how we're being seen, our representation. I don't care about that because I'm fucking representing now. And so I don't care how the Democratic Party is seen or what our representation looks like because I'm going to end up on fucking CNN. And now that I see Destiny's on there, right? I know I can be on there too. So that's how I look at it. I don't worry about all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You might not, but people are watching. Yeah, I mean, who's watching? You think like we're graded on CNN? Like, I don't know. You know? I mean, you know, Scott Jennings is on CNN. The president is a rapist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it might be a good thing that fucking Destiny, the sex predator, is on CNN, because maybe he's going to win some of those MAGA guys over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I don't think anybody's like gonna fucking, you know, I mean, I get it. They're gonna attack at some point. They're gonna discover his shady past, but it's gonna make him look good to the MAGA bros, right? Maybe he'll convert some MAGA bros. Yeah. Dude, yeah, Adam Mockler's been on there too. Yeah, I don't worry about that stuff though. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't worry about that stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess maybe it's because I have my own fucking, right? I have my own issues that I'm fucking worried about. But I think it's great though. Like, if he's on there, I'm definitely going to end up on CNN. Let's go. Yeah. I don't really get too worried about that shit though. We should be putting our best people forward. Yeah, but it's not up to you, Matt. Like, CNN is going to put who they want to put on CNN, right? It's not up to us. But I'm just telling you, you can't waste your fucking time being worried about who's representing us on CNN. You got to just fucking make sure that you're getting on CNN. You got to focus on your message and making sure you get on there, right? Forget like, oh, they picked the wrong guy. I don't know. I don't waste time with that shit. I don't care if they put a bad person on CNN and it blows up. I don't know. I feel like in the end, you know, it's all vibes. You know what I'm saying? I just want to put some truth out there and you know, but for me, anybody who breaks the barrier, even if they're a degenerate and they're breaking the barrier benefits me, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Destiny's going to become a regular on CNN. But I will say this about Destiny. As much as I despise him, I think he does have a unique set of degeneracies that make him a person who can win some of those. He can actually win some of those manosphere bros. I think he can reach them. You know what I mean? He can. And you know, I don't even know the full extent of his like canceling and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the full extent of what he did. I've sort of shied away from the Destiny drama. I just know that there's a lot of people in media are questionable figures, you know, and I don't watch Destiny, but I don't worry if he like, you know, if people think he's the Democratic Party. I mean, dude, they call us all kinds of nasty shit. I don't think Destiny's going to harm the party. You know, he's certainly not going to harm the party any more than Hakeem Jeffries will. You know what I mean? Or Chuck Schumer, right? You know what I mean? Dude, like, dude, Chuck Schumer's way worse for the Democrats than fucking Destiny is. I'll tell you that, dude. But dude, I'm going to get on CNN, bro. That's what I'm going to do, man. I'm excited about this. You got me pumped, right? I'm going to get on, yeah, and they call out sexual predators on our side. Yeah, but everybody calls out the sexual predators on our side. People call out Destiny. I don't see anybody, I've never seen anybody pretending that Destiny's not smarmy, right? He's like, I mean, come on, man. Nobody's pretending he's not smarmy. I don't think anybody's fucking defending the guy. I just, you know, I'll just tell you this though, guys. Destiny's not the only sexual predator in the fucking Democratic world, guys. I mean, come on, man. There's a lot of fucking predators in the Democratic world too. Like, let's be real, okay? Wherever there's power and fame, there's fucking predatory people. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. I don't act like, oh, there's no predators in the Democratic Party, dude. I mean, come on, man. It's like, dude, those types of people go into that shit. Right? All right, but we got to get into this. All right, here we go. So let's watch this video. All right, there's 3 things we got to do real fast. We're going to watch the video. We're going to watch this video. We're going to read some of this article about Jeffrey Epstein, and we're going to look at Epstein's non-prosecution agreement. In fact, I think we're going to look at the non-prosecution agreement before the Vanity Fair article. We may not get to the VF article. That may be tomorrow. But I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then we're going to come back. You wouldn't call him a predator? Yeah, see, I don't think, I don't put Destiny on the same level as that fucking Epstein shit. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, he is like predatory, but dude, there is a difference, guys. Okay, you ready? Listen to me. And we need to be clear about this, okay? Because as gross as it is for a 25-year-old, okay? Like my girlfriend, when she was 17, she had a 25-year-old boyfriend, okay? When she was 17, and her parents were fine with it, okay? A 22-year-old, 25-year-old, and a 17-year-old communicating in a sort of like thinking about dating way. She's almost 18, 17, 18. That is a little different. If they're not having sex, whatever, they're flirting, they're being fucking weird. A 25 and a 17 is different than like 20 and 14. Okay? A 17-year-old is about to be 18. They're like, right? It's not like, I know we set this 18 thing, but a 20-year-old dating a 17-year-old is not a huge deal. Okay? An 18-year-old dating a 14-year-old is a huge fucking deal. Okay? I just think when my kid was 17, I treated him like an 18-year-old. He was like practically 18. And so I don't, you know what I mean? I mean, a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old are very, very different, okay? And so we gotta not see this shit in a black and white sort of way. You know what I'm saying? And that age, a 25-year-old woman would never talk to a 17-year-old. See, that's actually, though, that's not true. I mean, when I was 18, I was having sex with 30-year-old women, guys, okay? I had a fake ID, and I would go to the bar, and I was fucking having sex with 30-year-old women, and they loved me being 18. That meant I fucking, like, I had the super responsive genitalia. They loved it, okay? There are a lot of women that engaged in that. Now, was it toxic? Sure, it was toxic. Was it sometimes manipulative? Yes, it was. There were like, I got played a few times, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And you could look at it and say, like, yeah, that's wrong. But it's a different power dynamic than, you know, than a 14-year-old, okay? And I mean, so, and again, I don't know the specifics of Destiny's thing, but Jeffrey Epstein, a 50-year-old man hanging out with 14-year-old girls, is different than a 22-year-old hanging out with a 17-year-old. Okay? This 17, 18 is hard because there are some 17-year-olds that maybe are really, really young. And then there are other 17-year-olds, like when my kid was 17, he was like an adult. You know what I'm saying? He got treated like a fucking an adult, you know? And so I don't know. I think some of that is not as cut and dried as we would think it is. Now, obviously, the thing about somebody like Destiny, though, guys, is, to me, it's not even about the age. The thing about Destiny, or a figure like Destiny, is the fame, okay? And that's the thing that is really hard, because if Destiny was 25 and he was texting a 17-year-old, I would look at that as like, it's grimy, but not necessarily something I would consider illegal. But when you have a famous person who's 25 texting a 17-year-old, there is a huge power dynamic there where they can, now the 17-year-old feels like they can't say no because the fame could threaten their ability to be famous themselves or to get a job, or right? And that's where the thing about the destiny and shit gets weird is that power manipulation sort of thing where they can get them to say yes when they mean no because of his fame and because of his power. And leveraging that shit is real dirty. And I know he did that. And I know a lot of famous people do that. You know, Donald Trump did that, right? When you're a star, you can do anything. And that shit is really fucking, to me, that shit is super dirty, right? It is. It is. That's where it fucking gets crazy. In the eyes of the law, it's a crime. I mean, it depends on, like, you know, I guess where the laws are. But I feel like I don't know, this is something that we got to figure out about our shit because society's advancing pretty rapidly. And so people are growing up a little faster than they used to, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're encountering something where people are, you know, here's what's going to happen. Let me just tell you guys. The reality is younger people are getting access to more worldly information via social media and via AI and via their phones, where people are maturing faster in certain ways. And so we're going to be entering a danger ground, guys, where people at younger ages are going to start seeking out more adult experiences. And I think we are about to enter a weird sort of upside down, especially women are developing so much more rapidly. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like, we're about to get into a weird area where people are maturing way faster than they used to, but we're like, it's going to get dicey, I think. I think it's going to get real dicey. Like, I feel like some weird shit is about to go on where because people are going to be like 15 years old and they're going to be trying to have adult experiences, but they don't have the maturity level to engage with those adult experiences. And I think you're going to have more of the world, more young people are going to start engaging in dangerous, I don't know, in potentially unhealthy relational type activities because their access to information is making them think they're more mature than they are. And I don't think we as a society have really looked at technological advancement as like bringing this stuff, right? I mean, we've already seen it with young people like getting access to porn at young ages where they're already getting conditioned with some of the messaging and some of that dopamine, and they don't even know how to process it and they can't talk to their parents about it. And so like that, like porn and video games and gambling are the first ways I've been seeing it manifest in you know, adult behaviors that very young children are getting involved with, and they're not able to contextualize it. They're not talking to their parents about it. And it's creating, I think it's creating some disturbances. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like adult content, gambling, and high dopamine video games were like the first round. But I think it's going to get beyond that into like dating sites and shit like that, where you're going to start having younger and younger people seeking adult situations. And of course, when they seek it, they're going to find these really toxic adults to be the ones participating in it. And so we may be going backwards in a way to where there's going to be a rash of like adult on child crime coming, you know what I'm saying? And some of it, unfortunately, is going to be sought out by the kids, okay? And which doesn't excuse the adult participation. I'm just saying we're getting to a point of where I think younger and younger kids are going to seek adult behavior. And that's going to cause a real fucking problem, right? I don't know. I've seen the writing on the wall of like, ooh, shit. Bro, it could get funky, right? It could get funky. And you know the problem, guys? Here's the problem I have is some of these Republican fucking people, thank you, Brian, is some of these fucking Republican legislators, I feel like they might lower the age of consent. Okay? You go to Missouri and shit, and they want to marry 13-year-olds again. So, dude, we could have a society where some of these Republicans start like creating a world where children are like adult predators are able to do it. I mean, they're doing it with rolling back child labor laws. Okay. Like that. We just had that GOP guy who's trying to do it for his family member who's fucking around with a 13-year-old. Like they might open that shit up again to child brides. Like I don't put it past them. They're fucking, these religious zealots are scum, guys. They are scum, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but so Matt, though, the thing about it is, though, is the life expectancy was like 26. So yes, women were married at 13 couple hundred years ago, but they only lived to be 30. So it was different. You weren't going to wait till 20 to get married because your entire life was almost over. Okay? Now, when you live to be 70, you don't need to get married at 13, right? You know? But if you're only living to be 25, then yeah, get married at 13 because you're going to be dead soon. Like, it was definitely a different world. Dude, Mike Lee and Mike Davis. I think both of those guys. Do you know this guy, Mike Davis? I swear to you, this guy, dude, Mike Davis. This guy right here, fucking, he is, I don't know who he is, but he's a loudmouth, fucking whatever. He's some law guy. He was on the Senate he was a lawyer for the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's a MAGA dude. I think this guy is going to get caught with child porn, dude. I'm telling you, this guy and Mike Lee, I feel like both of these guys are going to get caught with child porn. All right? I'm calling it now. I even told him today, dude, because he was talking about, look at what he said. He said something about like Letitia James being arrested or whatever. And I told him, I was like, dude, you're going to end up in prison for 𝗙𝗍𝗹𝗹𝗻 before these people end up in jail, right? And she got criminally charged. No, she didn't get criminally charged. They're investigating her. I don't know if I don't know if any of these people are going to get criminally charged. They're going to investigate everybody, right? But I don't think they're going to have the evidence to actually get criminal charges, right? That's the difference. They're going to fucking investigate. But anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Then we're going to hit this stuff up. I'll be back in a minute. Hang tight.
situations again, because I might be tempted. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with everything. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with everything but me. But why don't you say that, sit at your fingertips, wanna kiss those hands?
Dude, you say you think if 16-year-old dating with a 25 is okay if the parents consent? I disagree with that. I think if the parents give consent for their 16-year-old to date a 25-year-old, those parents are fucking assholes. They are. They're fucking shitty, bro. I mean, Jenny's parents let her date a 25-year-old when she was like 17, and it was bad news. That was even bad, right? But, you know, whatevs. Yeah, 16 is way too young to be dating a 25-year-old. I mean, I don't think a 16-year-old should be dating anybody who can legally drink. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a bad, right? Because you know a 25-year-old dating a 16-year-old is fucking gonna be giving her alcohol, right? You know? But, so is 17? Yeah. 17, though, there's a huge difference between 16 and 17. There is. I mean, if you have a kid, like my kid, when he was 16-year-old versus 17-year-old was like a massive difference in age-wise, you know? It was. But I don't think a 17-year-old should be dating a 25-year-old either, right? But there's I know you were, but you probably don't remember how huge of a change there was, but there's a big maturity difference between 16, 17, and 18. There's a huge one. You know what I'm saying? Like 17, when I was 17, I graduated from high school already. I was at UCLA when I was 17. I was living literally like in college at 17. You know what I'm saying? And like the girls that I was hanging out with in college were not like being illegal because they were like 20. You know what I mean? We were all in college. We were all relatively similar maturity level, but yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't make a cut and dried thing. That's what's so hard about it. That's why even with 18, right? We have 18 as adulthood, but 18-year-olds don't have a fully formed brain, right? Your brain isn't fully formed until you're 25. So why did we pick 18 as the adulthood thing, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself, how did we even come up with that number? You know what I mean? Like that it's legal. Like there are a lot of 18-year-olds that shouldn't be going in the army and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, we can't just treat this like one thing. You can't act like a 21-year-old dating a 17-year-old is the same as a 21-year-old sleeping with a 14-year-old, because it's not. Those are two very different things. Okay? You know what I'm saying? But again, we gotta not treat everything like it's one thing. You know what I'm saying? In society. But anyway, moving on. I'm done talking about this because it's fucking boring. All right. It's fucking boring. All right, here we go. Let's watch this video.
Hey everybody, I'm going to play this documentary for you that's very hard to find. I was interviewed for this documentary 30 years ago.
What was it?
Hey everybody, I'm going to play this documentary for you that's very...
American Girls in Paris. So this is 1988. All right, let's go.
Hard to find. I was interviewed for this documentary 30 years ago.
What they're sending their girls into. It's a meat market. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. And what happens if you say no? You don't work.
All right, so what you can see, obviously by the name American Girls in Paris, what does this have to do with Epstein? This is about Trump's, right? This is about Trump's fucking modeling. This is about modeling agencies, okay? This is about modeling. And this was central to the Epstein, Trump, Jean-Luc Brunel world. All right, if you look at Epstein's two main close male friends, who were they? Epstein's two closest male friends were Donald Trump and Jean-Luc Brunel. And both of them had modeling agencies, guys. Okay? That was and John Casablancas was also close to fucking Donald Trump. But they all had modeling agencies. They all were involved. Models are like 13 to 18. Okay? There's not a lot of models past the age of 18. Occasionally, they'll be like 19, 20, 21. But for the most part, it is a 13 to 18 age range. They are young. They're really sought after when they have no hips, guys. That's what it is with these young girls for modeling. It's before their hips start jutting out. Okay, they're like that type of no hip skinny is the shit that is really, really like sought after. See, Jean-Luc Brunel was like he was Epstein's closest male friend probably after Donald Trump and he separated. Okay, it was Epstein and Trump in the 90s and early 2000s. And then in the early 2000s and on was Jean-Luc Brunel, and then Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel both ended up dead by suicide. You know what I'm saying? But they were all about modeling, and Donald Trump's models, Trump model management, they were trafficking young underage girls from Eastern Europe into America. It was a huge thing.
Every week, dozens of young American girls walk off airplanes in Paris and Milan, certain that their faces will be the next to beam from the covers of the fashion magazines. They are girls as young as 15 and 16, recruited by talent scouts or sent by their local modeling agencies, because Europe has more fashion houses and magazines, and it's easier to get that first big break there than in New York. The girls are told that they'll have a modeling agency in Europe, which will get them work and be their home away from home.
Okay, so I was in the most promising model contest with John Robert Powers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From there, I went to New York for a competition at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. I walked the runway one time, and Monique Pollard, you'll see her in pictures with Cindy Crawford, Naomi, and all the gang, approached me and said she was Coral from Florida, a real nice little grandmotherly looking lady. Yeah, and then I met Douglas Ash, who was my handler in New York, the president of American Models, and he paraded me around New York City. Then they shipped me off to Paris for Claude Haddad, which you will soon see in this documentary. He's the right-hand man to Jean-Luc Brunel. I was in Paris, I was in Milan. It was freaking hell. I will continue. I'm going to do live streams today on my personal experience.
Dude, see, this shit is crazy. So back when I was touring, there was a girl named Naya that I hung out with that lived in Boise, and she was a model, okay? She would go to Paris and Milan, and like she did that for years. Now she lives in Salt Lake, and she owns her own modeling agency because she made it sort of like wanting to be able to create a modeling agency that wasn't fucking predatory, because it is so bad. If you get to know any girls that have actually done the like New York, Paris, Milan modeling circuit, it is fucking gnarly. Like every photographer trying to fuck these girls, you know what I'm saying? Like every producer, manager, the people that are involved with the ad agencies, it is almost like the whole industry exists for the people in that industry to try and use their power to get laid. And the girls just like really grapple with, do I say no? I mean, I'm curious what it's like now in the post Me Too world, But like, man, 20 years ago, it was not good. There was not a lot of like saying no that was available to these girls, because this is a very tiny world where only a small number get like up the ladder, right? There's like one ladder and there's thousands of girls doing these small runway shows, but only a small handful get up that ladder, And so it's fucking, yeah, it's pretty brutal.
But again, they called me and interviewed me for this story. This aired and nothing freaking happened.
They are girls like Sherry Bolts from Pompano Beach, Florida, a cheerleader who dropped out of high school and used her savings to buy a plane ticket to Europe when she was just 17. Her local modeling agency helped arrange it and still gets a percentage of her European income. And girls like Megan Douglas, who was a switchboard operator in Washington, D.C., when her photograph won her a spot in a modeling contest. And girls like Kimberly Barker of Nampa, Idaho, whose parents took out a loan to get the money to send her to Europe and to give her a shot at the big time.
Dude, from Nampa. Jesus, dude, Nampa is like a tiny town outside of Boise. Dude, her parents fucking put her into the industry. That's crazy.
So the odds are about 1,000 to 1 that a girl will end up a successful model. A model like Debbie Haggerty, who makes about $150,000 a year, and says the top models may do all right, but it's rough for all the others trying to break through.
Yeah, the ones trying to break through they make nothing, guys. They're like...
It's a nasty business, and I don't think these parents have any idea what they're sending their girls into.
What the parents are told by those local modeling agencies and talent scouts is that their daughters have been signed up with European modeling agencies which will take care of everything and become the girls' family abroad.
How many girls are on option for this?
So it's something of a shock when the girls discover that a lot of those agencies routinely take as much as 3/4 of the girls' salary. For instance, charging fees on the photographs the girls need for promotion.
Dude, that's crazy. 3/4 of the money taken by the agency, and they charge them for the fucking photos. Dude, this was the shit that Trump was doing. He was packing them into rooms in his properties, overcharging them for rent, keeping most of their money, just totally pimping them out.
And ostensibly deducting taxes and Social Security, even though most of the girls are working illegally without work permits. We have to check for that.
It's very confusing.
𝗙𝗍𝗪𝗏 is...
Okay, so there was a time period where 𝗏𝗏 in Paris sent me to this governmental building with my booker, Tom. Tom was actually a woman. We literally went in this governmental building. No one spoke English. We were in a cage with a whole bunch of other people, waiting. And then I had to go up in front of a freaking judge. They talked French, and they did some papers and stamped it. So I contend the UN is involved, and they made us teenage diplomats, and that's how they sent us over to Paris.
President of a fledgling models union in Paris. She's helping some of the girls bring lawsuits against the agencies to learn just where all that money goes. What happens if the girl goes to the agency and says, wait a minute, how much did the client...
They never want to explain it. They just say, okay, baby, we have a lot of experience and we have to pay the tax department and we have to pay a lot of things. So don't try to understand.
So one thing I want to say, Elf, what you're saying there, you saw Cindy Crawford's yearbook pictures. Don't think she was attractive. So there is something about this particular modeling world where it's not, there's a weird thing that happens, right? Because in a high school photo, it's just some whatever untalented photographer, whatever, it's a yearbook photo type thing, right? But what's crazy about it is one of the things that I've noticed about a lot of the models that I've known over the course of my life is just looking at them in real life, or looking at them with a regular camera photo, they didn't really look extra beautiful. But when they have the right makeup on and they're in front of a camera that knows how to light them, they leap off of the fucking photograph. It's not even like they're pretty. It's like they have a quality about them that jumps off the photograph. That is really wild. Like I knew this girl here in Portland who, like, she didn't even have good skin. She had a lot of acne and she looked just so regular. But man, they would put makeup on her and like light her up. And she was just the most stunning, like, interesting thing you've ever seen. It's like, it's weird. It's like they have a quality, right? They have a quality that, like, I don't know. There's a thing. I don't know. Everybody who, like, does in front of a camera, you got to have some of that sort of like that jazz. I don't know what it is.
Do the agencies really pay Social Security on an illegal work?
We don't even know exactly if they pay all the amounts. I'm sure they don't pay for that.
The modeling agencies also own apartments all around Paris, which they rent out to the new girls who come to town.
So this is exactly how my Paris was. Mine was on Rue de Varenne, across from Musée Rodin, and also Napoleon's tomb. Okay, we all lived there. Claude's Adonis-like son, Pascal, lived upstairs where they'd have freaking orgies and do drugs. Okay, I walked in on an orgy one time to just go get the freaking vacuum cleaner. This was my life. Okay, insanity.
Several girls to an apartment, and each girl paying a lot of rent.
I lived in an apartment that was by no means nice. There was 4 girls living there at the time. We did have our own rooms, but the rooms were like the size of boxes.
Courtney Powell is from Stoneboro, Pennsylvania. And how much was the rent?
$900 a month.
And you probably $900 a month?
$900 a month. That was when the franc was low, and we were each paying that.
Oh, hi.
Dude,
Eileen Ford runs the
that's
Ford
insane.
Modeling Agency in New York, one of the largest agencies in the world. She's known for the way she protects her girls.
Okay, she is a sick pedophile liar.
No, she uses the European
Dude,
agencies.
you see that? Oh my God. They're like, the reporter's like, she's known for protecting her girls. The motto is like, she is a sick pedophile liar. And who do you think's more accurate here, guys?
To book work for her girls abroad. So a contract with her can have a profound effect on a European agency's business. We met her at the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where she was looking for new faces. We asked her about the girls' complaints that their rent is way overpriced.
I've heard that, and I know that it's true.
It is true that they're overcharged for these apartments?
Yeah, they're overcharged in New York, too.
By the agencies?
Sure.
The girls say not only do a lot of agencies take financial advantage of them, sometimes they're taken advantage of in other ways, too.
Oh, my God.
This is my agent, Claude Haddad. If he is not a reptilian from hell, seriously, you know what my day was? 16 years old, I'd have to stand in this man's office in front of a huge wall mirror, this gross, creepy office with dark curtains, and he would stand behind me and like feel my body. I'd have to stand there in my bra and underwear, and he'd tell me where I had to improve my body. Yeah, and this is the man that sent me to pretended I was going to a doctor's appointment for a checkup, but he actually was sending me for freaking breast implants, and I ran out of the hospital.
An agency owner named Claude Haddad. For years, his Paris agency, Mademoiselle Prestige, welcomed teenage American girls. Like other agency heads, Haddad offered many of the new girls help with the transition, temporary housing, a room in his apartment.
Nice body, huh?
Do you sometimes feel you've awakened in a candy store?
Not in a flower shop. I'm a gardener. They're not candy, they are flowers.
And there's
Just smell
Jesus.
them, that's it.
Dude,
Smell the perfume.
I'm a gardener. They're not candy. They're flowers. I'm a gardener. Dude, what a fucking weirdo, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, ew. Ew. Right? I mean, is that like vomit worthy or is that fucking vomit worthy, dude? That is seriously. Dude, I mean, just referring to young women as flowers, I have a real fucking problem with that metaphor. It's like so gross.
They're staying in your apartment?
Yes.
You don't feel a temptation to
Absolutely
walk
not.
in on
No,
them?
absolutely not.
He's full of shit. He had several girls living there and he would rape them. I went to a party at his frickin' little castle. There was a big time model named Ashley living there too. He discovered Grace Jones and who's the wife of Mick Jagger, whoever that, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She's a big deal. So that's where he started. And I believe I met Epstein at his little Paris apartment. Not little, it was a freaking mansion. Yeah, and then when I was there at Claude's house, everyone started taking their clothes off, because it's topless there, so let's just whip our shirts off. Yeah, and I left. I walked home alone. They were all taking their clothes off.
Not at all. Not at all.
But Lorraine was 16 when Claude Haddad discovered her at a Paris street and brought her to his agency and to his house.
He asked me to come to his room, and I wouldn't go to his room, so he had decided to get into bed with me in my room. And just trying to kiss you, trying to block you, in a corner or against a wall or anything. And you would just keep talking and trying to squiggle out of it,
How many of the girls who came in told you that he had tried this sort of thing with them?
All of them.
All the girls I lived with had all except one.
How many teenage models, Mr. Haddad, have you seen?
Dude, all of them. That's right? And now think about this. This is one fucking agent. How many agents are there? How many producers are there? How many photographers are there? How many of them had gross, financial benefactors like Jeffrey Epstein looming around? These girls are literally in a pinball machine of sex predators trying to fucking navigate it at 16. And these are wealthy people, powerful fucking people, man. It's so toxic.
What do you mean by teenage?
The young girls, 16 to 19.
16, almost never.
Let me read you some letters.
Yeah.
These are letters.
I have a lot of letters too.
He walked in on me while I was in the bath, while I was changing in the room, and even did things like jumping in the bed with me while I was trying to sleep.
Yeah, and by the way, at the models' apartments, there were no locks on the doors. None. And the toilet was a separate little room from the bath. So I'd be trying to take a bath or a shower, and we had a cokehead photographer, Barry, that lived upstairs. He would just barge in when I was taking a shower and a bath. It was deliberate.
Dude, no locks on their doors. That's so shitty,
That's
bro.
how they set it up.
True, I'm asking.
No, most of this, it's always, when people say something, it's always a little truth.
What's the little truth in this?
Yes, very little truth.
What do you mean little truth? What is the little
That
truth?
I hug them, that I try to flirt with them, but never more. They can say what they want.
Here's some of the words they used. Sexually disturbed. Pervert. You had to sleep with him to work.
Yep.
He almost raped me.
Yep.
I cannot. What do you say?
Dude, he didn't like the rape word. He's like, oh, wait a second. Hold.
Many almost raped me. You always use almost raped me.
I'm quoting. But in this case, it was a 15-year-old girl.
Can I? Oh, no. I wish
15 years old?
I don't remember. Maybe it's possible. I don't know.
Then Claude Haddad went on to say, what happens with the girls is not really his fault.
When a French girl starts to play with her body, she knows that she can have problem. She can start to have problem with men.
Yeah, see, this is a common thing for all the predators. And it's not even just the predators, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not even just the predators. It's I feel like we do it as society as a whole, right? What was she wearing? You know what I'm saying? She brought it on. She was the one who was the aggressor. You know what I mean? And I mean, you may have noticed I mean, Samantha, you said you do adult film work. So, which I think is great. I fucking love adult film workers. But one of the things you notice about the adult film world, right? When you look at it, it's not even about the sex. The thing that men are fucking so, like, the thing that really, like, blows men's minds when they watch adult content is in adult content, the women are always the aggressors. Right? They're either one of two. They're either like they never stop the guy from doing anything. They don't resist, which is like the rape culture part, or they're the ones like pursuing it, which is really like far less common out in the real world. Right? But the whole fantasy of it is this girl who's like coming after the guy and just won't take no for an answer. It's like it's really fucking wild how, you know, we put that twist on it to excuse sort of rape behavior, you know? You know what I mean? It's pretty fucking crazy shit.
Then Claude Haddad
He's like almost rape. Oh, it's impossible. I don't know. I don't remember.
What happens with the girls is not really his fault.
When a French girl starts to play with her body, she knows that she can have problem. She can start to have problem with men. And in America, I found out that when a girl does that, it's just, she doesn't even mean it, it's a game, but she's not thinking of what she's doing. It took me a long time to realize this.
Oh, dude, he basically sounds like he said, oh, the French girls are like, when they behave a certain way, that means they want to have sex. And the American girls, it's not like that. So like, oh, they were doing this thing that the French girls, it means they want me. And so I had sex with him. Then I'm finding out later, dude, what is this guy? He's basically trying to like blame the cultural differences for why he accidentally raped a whole bunch of American girls. And he just raped a lot of them before he figured out, oh my God, dude, it's so toxic. Like, but these are the guys. This is Trump's world. This is Epstein's world. This is what these guys were about.
You work with Claude Haddad? No, sir. No more.
Liar.
Wouldn't send your girls to him. No, ma'am.
Oh, you're full of shit.
Why? Because I didn't think he behaved properly with some of them. I know he didn't. What did he do?
Did you behave properly, ma'am? Did you behave properly? Fucking pervert.
No, and I know what he did. I have letters from girls telling you what he did. To me, it's just so reprehensible. Just so appalling. That some old sleazebag would come along and touch a girl. But one man Eileen Ford does associate with in Paris is this man, the head of Karen Models, one of the largest...
Okay, let's get this straight.
Now there's Jean-Luc Brunel, right? My algorithm on Pornhub, I don't use Pornhub, and I don't algorithm, right? But there's like multiple varieties of adult content, right? Like you thought Eyes Wide Shut was a movie, but was that talking to me about the algorithm? Because there is like the three, I don't know, the three main kinds of adult content you see is like violence towards women, right? And brutality, right? The other one is like women that are like not saying no. They're like the innocent being led by the guy, where the guy is just sort of manhandling them and they let them, but they're not actually like being rough with them, right? And then there's like the weird sort of fucking pseudo family content, right? That is like the girl aggressing with the guy. Oh shit, that's funny. I mean, there's a lot of shades, but the thing that I've noticed about like the thing that's unusual about it is the ones where the woman is the aggressor, because that's just not real life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just not real life. Like, most women aren't like that in real life. I mean, I've definitely been with an occasional sexually aggressive woman, but most of the women out there are not sexually aggressive. Like, or most of the women I've encountered, you know, and I mean, I've had a fair amount of, you know, being a rock and roller, I've had a fair amount of like sexual experiences, just always a different attitude. Oh, there's lots of kinds, but that is a trope though, right? That is a trope of in the adult film world, is the guy being like, stop, your mother's gonna come home or whatever. It's like that weird fucking stepdaughter shit or whatever it is, right? And she's like, but no, right? I'm gonna get in trouble. Dude, it's like fucking...
Ford knows exactly what's going on there. It's such... Look, see how fake they are and liars? Jean-Luc Brunel and Claude Haddad are freaking partners. They're business partners.
Dude, Jean-Luc Brunel was very, very dirty. Very, like, he had car-in models, and they were like car-in models was so bad. They, like, so bad. I mean, he was just I mean, it seems like a lot of them were rapists, but I feel like he was a rapist without bounds, you know, and he was Epstein's close buddy, too.
Religious agencies in the country. His name is Jean-Luc Brunel. The girls told us Brunel is very careful about the models who are under the protection of Eileen Ford. But Courtney and Sherry, who are not Ford models, told us about the dinners he invites his other girls to attend with his male friends.
It's a meat market. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. He is acting as a matchmaker. He's got the agency. He's got the girls. His friends say, oh, Jean-Luc, I'd like to meet some girls, or we're having a party tonight. Can you bring some girls?
And what happens if you say no?
You don't work.
Yeah, see, that's another thing too, right? Is the bringing the girls. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the girls when there's an event, right? When like Jean-Luc's friends need fucking 20 girls for their event or whatever, and then he brings them and they have to like participate in this shit.
Exactly. And they're all princes from faraway lands, Lebanon,
Jesus.
Iraq, Italy, freaking you name it. They rolled in every prince of the world, and they made money off freaking trying to just date us and matchmaker us. That's it.
So you've actually known, be very careful of this, you actually have known that he has made someone pay a professional penalty for saying no.
I know. I paid a penalty for saying no.
We all did.
I was personally proposed to by himself, Jean-Luc, and I said, no way. I laughed in his face, and I had no more appointments, and I never worked.
What about the fact that people say when you come over here, you've come over knowing what you're getting into? Well, everyone knows.
How can you know what you're getting into? How can you know what you're getting into? This is like a foreign country, you know? I mean, I'm from Florida, little city, Pompano Beach, you know? I mean, come on. How am I going to know what goes on in Paris, you know, or Milan? I mean, I don't even speak the language. I don't know anyone, you know? I'm in a new environment, you know? I don't know anyone. I have to trust the people that I come over here with. I mean, I'm naive. I'm young.
A lot of these bigwigs at the agencies literally have a scale where in this hand they have your career and in this hand they have what they want. And your career can go up if they get what they want. If they don't get it, your career goes down.
Many girls ever come to you and tell you that...
See, that's really what all of this shit is about, is that it's that power dynamic, man. That power dynamic, right? That power dynamic of, you know, in the modeling agencies, right? Trump models, Karen models, elite models. It was the power dynamic of, you know, Jeffrey Epstein and his like whatever teenage massage girls, right? The power dynamic of the politicians and the intern, or right? These huge fucking power dynamics that are crazy.
Jean-Luc invites them to parties where he has male friends, and it's clear what the arrangement is when you get there, and that you are expected to be the friend of his male friends.
Look at her.
I don't believe that. I mean, I believe they said it, but you don't believe it's true? I find it hard to believe it's true.
Dude, she knows. They all know. Everybody in that industry, the new girls don't know. The new girl shows up, doesn't know. And she may have heard stories, but you believe no, it can't really be that bad. They're sensationalizing it. You know what I'm saying?
I had heard, I'm sure you have. If you wouldn't be asking if you weren't told that was true. But I like to think that our girls are not treated that way. And I like to think that I like to think that our girls are not treated that way. I like to think is what she said. I would know it because I've broken off more than one association here in my life. And you'd break it off immediately if it were true. I would. At discotheques like the Bandouche and the Palace, models are admitted free. When we filmed at the Bandouche, Jean-Luc Brunel was there. A number of models told us he has used cocaine heavily and offered it to the girls, along with help in their careers. Many of the girls who spoke with us said openly that they had been regular cocaine users, but some warned that there were things that went...
Sorry, I blocked that person who like said Jew talk. That is like wildly offensive. And I don't know what that was, but they're fucking gone. Dude, yeah, like, bro, like, fuck off. All right, you fucking weirdos. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're gone now, right? Dude, that's so out of pocket, dude. People are so fucked up. Oh. But, Jesus. Fucking losers. All right, hold on.
One association here in my life. And you'd break it off immediately if it were true. I would. At discotheques like the Bandouche and the Palace, models are admitted free. When we filmed at the Bandouche, Jean-Luc Brunel was there. A number of models told us he has used cocaine heavily and offered it to the girls, along with help in their careers. Many of the girls who spoke with us said openly that they had been regular cocaine users, but some warned that there were things that went beyond cocaine. This one asked to be photographed and...
By the way, the queens of the dance club, Paulina Poroskova with Rick Ocasek. So Paulina, you whining about not having Rick's money, nobody gives a shit.
So you first met Jean-Luc Brunel in a nightclub when he offered you drugs, cocaine. And Jean-Luc, did he use drugs?
Oh, yes.
You say, oh, yes, a lot?
Well, that's why I used to like to see him, because he'd always give me a little vial of cocaine and say, you know, go have a good time in the bathroom. That was more or less, he did that with all the girls.
Yep, pretty much they all did. I never did a drug, I never drank, because I knew if I did anything, these monsters would rape me.
Well, this girl told us a few years ago she went to Jean-Luc's house with a few of his friends. She said a powerful hallucinogenic drug was slipped into her drink, and that Jean-Luc kept urging her to go in and take a bath.
I started hallucinating, and at first, you know, I was very confusing because it was very scary, because if you don't know that you've been drugged and all of a sudden you start hallucinating, that's very scary.
She said she managed to get out of the house, but stayed disoriented for 24 hours. But this ex-model says several years ago she went to Jean-Luc's house and didn't get away. She asked to have her voice and face disguised. He gave you a drink?
Yes.
You drank it, and then what?
I blacked out. I don't remember anything after that.
The next thing you remember
was being in this man's bed.
Who was he?
Yikes.
Do I have to say the name? It was Jean-Luc
Yikes.
from Karen's modeling agency.
You were raped?
Yes, I do know that.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
Yeah, of course she was. Yeah, he didn't fucking roofie her and take her to bed so she could sleep it off.
Everybody knows this about Jean-Luc Brunel?
Oh, yes. A lot of people know that. A lot of people.
They continue to deal with him.
Everyone continues to deal with it. I don't know why.
We played a tape of the second girl's.
Do you see how this strategy is just like Project Veritas? State the obvious, drag it out, excuse me, and then ultimately, like these people, they did nothing. Again, 30 years old this shit is. 30 years!
Yeah.
Story of drugs and rape to Eileen Ford. I don't know what to tell you. That's horrible. And this is the first time you've ever heard one of these stories. Absolutely.
Dude, that's such bullshit when she says this is the first time. See, part of the reason why we're looking at this is the realization when you look at Trump and Epstein, the idea that Epstein learned trafficking from Trump and his friends is far more likely than the opposite. You know what I mean? I mean, it's almost like Trump and Jean-Luc Brunel and fucking, you know, John Casablancas, they were trafficking and doing this shit in, you know, with the pageants and the modeling, and they had a system that was like finely honed, right? Epstein gets into that world and starts taking girls from Mar-a-Lago, and then Trump's like, wait a second, man, like you're like lowering my, you know what I mean? Like these guys were all protected. They did it in an industry where it was okay. It was normalized. Nobody would speak up because they knew they would fucking have no work. And Epstein took it and went out on the streets, was picking up girls from the schools, eventually like having the cops show up at his door. And so it's like, you know, it's almost like Trump and those guys were more like kingpins. You know what I'm saying? And Epstein was like the fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Because we have talked to 5 other girls who say that they have had drugs put in their drinks by Jean-Luc or Jean-Luc's friends. I hope you're wrong.
I hope you're wrong.
Sake, I hope you're wrong. Eileen Ford says she's sure Jean-Luc has used drugs, and she even warned him about it.
I hope you're wrong is what she says. Jesus. What an answer. Look at her. Oh, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. She's like sitting there thinking whoever signed me up for this interview is getting fired. Oh my God, dude.
I have certainly asked him never to have drugs around in front of my models. That's all you've ever said to him? Well, that's a pretty fair warning. But were you ever told about this and ever raised it with him? The drugs? You mean being doped up and put to bed? Getting girls drugged up and into bed with him or his friend? No. Have girls ever come back and complained to you that he took them to parties with people who dealt in drugs? No. So here they are, the fresh new faces from Omaha and Washington and Pompano Beach and Wichita. Every girl hoping for a lightning bolt that will transform an ordinary teenager into a superstar. While not far away, the wiser and older girls of 19 and 20 say someone has to warn them what may lie ahead.
I can't really see any solution to the problem that's in Paris at this moment, because I think there'll always be people who are sending their girls over thinking, well, she's different. Every mother believes that her daughter is different. And it's sad. I think it really is sad. When she could have been going to her junior prom, she was hanging out at the Bandouche with a bunch of playboys, shoving cocaine up her nose.
But to be honest with you, I wanted to go. And I saw this as an opportunity, and I still see it as an opportunity. I know I was meant there to be a watcher. For me personally, my parents didn't have any idea. My parents loved me at the time, and they had good intentions. But now they don't. And so, Mom and Dad, I don't understand. I don't know how you thought this day would never come. For the past 2 years, I've lived hunted and on the run, and you allowed me to sink as low as to living in the woods by myself with nothing. And I'll never understand it, and I'll never be able to express to you the depths.
What's this girl's story?
Confusion,
the voice
and heartache that I feel, and all I want all I want is my kids back.
Dude, it just took a crazy turn here at the end with the speaker, right? Like that's pretty wild.
About any of this. It's not that hard to do the right thing, is it?
Dude, so anyway, like looking at this, if you look at Jean-Luc Brunel, right? Him and Epstein, okay? He was a frequent flyer. Here he is. Okay, here's Jean-Luc Brunel and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on the plane. He was a frequent flyer. He was a frequent fucking, you know what I'm saying? He was a frequent Epstein Island guy. Okay, here's another one of Jean-Luc and Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, Little St. James, Epstein's Island. And so this guy was like deeply tied to Epstein. You know what I'm saying? Deeply tied. This is really heavy duty stuff, man, because it is central to this. And Trump models he was in the center of this world, right? In a far more protected way, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with the crowd. I'm not taking the bait, though, so I'm just going to keep talking. Hopefully, you guys will fucking come back and join me. But here's another one of Jean-Luc, right? Him and Ghislaine also, I mean, they were very close and connected, right? You know what I'm saying? He was fucking central to this shit. And when did he die? He was yet another one. When was his suicide? You're here? Let's go. We're fucking here, baby. We're here. All right. So his was 2022. All right. So he was 3 years later. Okay. So Epstein, right? He was in prison. Yeah. So if we follow it, right? If we follow it, Epstein's first brush with the law was 2006, okay? 2005 to 2007, okay? 2007, he signs the non-prosecution agreement. He has a year of house arrest after jail. He goes about his business. It resurfaces after some reporters from Miami brought it back into the light after Me Too. I mean, guys, when you think about this, you remember earlier tonight we were watching Charlie Kirk. He was talking about fucking whatever, toxic femininity. If it hadn't been for Me Too, guys, I don't think this would have come to a head. It was literally Me Too and the movement of like a resurfacing of there being consequences for rapey behavior that got these reporters to start looking into these fucking stories again, and they rebooted it. It brought it back with Epstein getting fucking consequences. So Epstein suicide was August 10th of 2019. Okay, a year later, Brunel was arrested. Okay, in Paris, he was gonna go to Senegal. He was arrested for rape and human trafficking, all of it involving minors. He was charged with drugging and raping a girl in June of 2021. He said he was innocent. This was something from way back in the time period of the women in that documentary. And then in February of 2022, so a couple months after that, 8 months after that, he's found dead in his cell. I guess he hanged himself. He had attempted suicide several times. I don't know. There's a whole fucking story with that. But dude, a lot of these guys, man, it's wild. He was right in that fucking set, man. Do we have I wonder if they were fucking hanging out. I don't know that we have any Trump and Jean-Luc fucking, like, I don't think we have any Trump and Jean-Luc fucking connections there, right? Dude, such a dirty world, man. Trump definitely knew Brunel. He definitely knew him. Oh, wait, there we go. Hold on. Yeah. There he is. Right? There we go. Right? Dude, smarm. But I mean, there's another one. Oh no, that's 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀. Yeah, I didn't think that was him. This is not him. That's John 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀𝗀, right? That's not Jean-Luc Brunel. That's fucking John 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀. This is the look of the year guy, right? Right? Jean-Luc Brunel doesn't have the pointier nose, right? That's not Jean-Luc Brunel. He's got a much flatter, wider nose. I honestly don't think there are any pictures with Jean-Luc Brunel and Donald Trump, right? Because I mean, Trump didn't really go fucking, he didn't really go like overseas a lot. You know what I mean? It's strange, but it's not strange. I mean, really, because I think Trump was a little more, I don't know. He's a little more careful. Like one of the things about Trump is he was like super controlled, okay? Even in his company, okay? Even in his company, he kept his circle to like the tiniest number of people. He had his accountant, he had the woman who fucking managed his Rolodex, and that was it, right? He was like very low profile. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like much more closed world, right? But yeah, man, these guys are all super tied. Bill Clinton is tied into this. I mean, I just want to know what they found in the files. You know they found something, right? You know they found something. But he knew him, right? He definitely knew him. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely knew Jean-Luc Brunel. They were in the same fucking circles. But I don't think he ever photographed with him. I think he shied away, right? Because Jean-Luc Brunel there's two things. I mean, one, Jean-Luc Brunel did a lot of cocaine, and Trump is like super anti-drug, okay? You know what I'm saying? He's like super, super anti-drug. But the other thing though is I think Jean-Luc Brunel was like super notorious and much more of the aggressive type of dude. I don't think Donald Trump tend to hang out like he liked to be the aggressive dude. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's true. I think Trump liked to hang out with men that weren't the aggressive type dudes, so he could be what he perceived to be like the alpha male, whereas Jean-Luc Brunel was like way more like, you know what I mean? He was way Trumpier than Trump. You know what I'm saying? Right? He was, dude. These guys are fucking degenerates. But at the center of this, though, guys, at the center of this shit is fucking Ghislaine Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? Like she is lock, stock, and barrel at the fucking center of this shit, boss. You know? Which is crazy. I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, that right now, they're like thinking about her being the person to get Trump off. And I mean, this is insane, dude. It's insane because she is like in the center of these guys. She is in the center of these guys. Look at her. She's pulling her shirt open for him on the plane, right? You know what I mean? She is like ground zero of all of these abusive fucking degenerate fucking men, right? She was like ground zero. She was like the moon that all of these abusers revolved around. And now the GOP is trying to make her the point person for the truth. And like, man, dude, we can't fucking let that fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? We can't, dude. We can't let that fucking happen. Right? You know, that is like, that has to be an absolute fucking no-go, man. It has to be an absolute no-go. That picture is so pixelated. Dude. That's fucking crazy, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's so fucking, it's so gnarly. Maxwell kids got, they're her dad. I mean, her dad was pretty wild, dude. Yeah, this is gonna be like, you know what I mean? There's Ghislaine and fucking Jean-Luc Brunel, right? Of course, everyone's dying in prison, dying of suicide, right?
Disgraced finance. To the Index tonight, an investigation is underway in Paris after a close associate of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, was found dead this morning in his prison cell. His lawyers say he died by suicide. Brunel was charged with the rape and the trafficking of minors and was awaiting trial. Epstein also died by suicide in a New York City jail back in 2019. Avocados from Mexico are back on the menu. Exports to the U.S.
Dude! What was that pivot, bro? Oh my God, dude. Dude, did you see that pivot? Was that the funniest shit? Like, sex traffickers, trafficking minor girls, dead by suicide. Avocados are back on the menu. Oh, shit, bro. Oh my God, that shit fucked me up. So let's look at this, guys, because I was able to find this. This is the non-prosecution agreement from Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Signed in fucking, look at this shit. There it is. Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney, Epstein signed this, and his counsel, fucking Gerald LaCourte, right? Epstein signed it on September 24th of 2007, okay? I think it's only 15 pages, all right? Now, this is the document, guys, that named those 4 women, Adriana Ross, Sarah Kellen, Nadia, let's see, hold on. And so it was, hold on, I gotta do it in Google. The Google AI will give it to us. So it was Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff, and Nadia Marcinkova. Okay, those were his 4 handlers. This was like Ghislaine Maxwell was not involved in this. See, this is what I'm curious about. Okay, because what I don't understand is I don't understand how Ghislaine Maxwell was not listed in this non-prosecution agreement. Okay, because she was like procuring girls for him. It's possible that Ghislaine was procuring before, that these women appeared afterwards. I'm not sure how Ghislaine did not get named in this thing, because Ghislaine was obviously with him in the 90s. She was with him at the island. She, like Virginia Giuffre was plucked from Mar-a-Lago in the summer of 2000, right? And then this came around in like 2005. So I don't know if Ghislaine and him had broken up at this point and he had moved on, but I believe she was still hanging out with him right around then. I don't know. I don't know the exact timeline of that. But this is the non-prosecution agreement from 2007. This is the one that was executed by Alex Acosta with the help of Barry Krischer, the state attorney of Palm Beach County. Okay? And yes, she knew Trump long before Epstein. Okay? It says, it appearing that the city of Palm Beach Police Department and the state attorney's office for the 15th Judicial Circuit, that's Barry Krischer, for Palm Beach County, have conducted an investigation into the conduct of Jeffrey Epstein. It appearing that the state attorney's office has charged Epstein by indictment with solicitation of prostitution. It appearing that the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI have conducted their own investigation into Epstein's background, and any offenses that may have been committed by Epstein against the United States from in or around 2001 through in or around September 2007, including knowingly and willfully conspiring with others, known and unknown, to commit an offense against the U.S., that is, to use a facility or means of interstate or foreign commerce, or knowingly persuade, induce, or entice minor females to engage in prostitution. My God, dude, look at where they start with this. They're basically saying that they've investigated him for trafficking and interstate and foreign commerce of minor prostitution. Okay? Knowingly and willfully conspiring with others, known and unknown, to travel interstate for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct with minor females, using a facility or means of interstate or foreign commerce, knowingly enticing minor females to engage in prostitution, traveling in interstate commerce for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct with minor females. Like, my God, guys, like, dude, they knew, and they're basically writing this thing to just absolutely absolve him of everything. Like, this is gnarly to read. Who even writes a document like this, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, how would any attorney fucking write a document like this saying, yeah, you know what? We're just completely absolving you of all of this, like, you know, sex trafficking with minors. Okay, knowingly in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, recruiting, enticing, and obtaining by any means a person, knowing that person had not attained the age of 18, would be caused to engage in a commercial sex act, right? It appearing that Epstein seeks to resolve globally his state and federal criminal liability. And Epstein understands and acknowledges that in exchange for the benefits provided by this agreement, he agrees to comply with its terms, including undertaking certain actions with the state attorney's office. It appearing after an investigation of the offenses and Epstein's background by both state and federal law enforcement agencies, and after due consultation with the state attorney's office, that's Barry Krischer, that the interests of the United States, the state of Florida, and the defendant will be served by the following procedure. Therefore, on the authority of R. Alexander Acosta, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, prosecution in this district for these offenses shall be deferred in favor of prosecution by the state of Florida, provided that Epstein abides by the following conditions and requirements of this agreement set forth below. Now, listen to me, guys. One of the things here is these conditions I feel like are important, because the women that are protected in this non-prosecution agreement are bound by these conditions. Because I was talking about this yesterday, about how I believe that those women, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff, Sarah Kellen, and Nadia Marcinkova, that somehow this non-prosecution agreement needs to be voided. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be voided. And in order to do that, I believe the mechanism in order to do that has to do with these conditions. Okay? If the United States attorney should determine, based on reliable evidence, that during the period of the agreement, Epstein willfully violated any of the conditions of this agreement, then the United States attorney may, within 90 days following the expiration of the term of home confinement discussed below, provide Epstein with a timely notice specifying the conditions of the agreement that he has violated, shall initiate blah, 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 blah. Any timely fulfilling all the terms and conditions of the agreement, no prosecution for the offenses set out on pages 1 and 2, or any other offenses that have been subject of the joint investigation by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, nor any offenses that have arose from the federal grand jury investigation will be instituted in the district, and the charges against Epstein, if any, will be dismissed. Epstein shall plead guilty. So he had to plead guilty. Here are the terms. 1, he had to plead guilty to the solicitation of prostitution. All right, he had to plead guilty and had to register as a sex offender, and the solicitation of minors. So that was part of it. See, NDAs do have a time and place if you're working for a company developing new fucking technology, and you're signing an NDA so that technology doesn't get released, right? There's NDAs involved with films. You don't want to leak what happens in the movie before it comes out, right? And he's the only signatory. Yeah, well, so Chan, I know he's the only signatory, but like that seems weird to me that he can be a signatory protecting these women and then he's dead, right? You know, I don't know. Something about this is super problematic. I guess it's great that they lump these women into this thing. He's the only signatory and then they kill him, right? You know, but yeah, NDAs should not be allowed around sex offenses. I feel like NDAs being allowed around sex offenses is super problematic. You know what I mean? It is. It's super problematic. That's like how rape culture persists. Epstein shall make a binding recommendation that the court impose a 30-month sentence to be divided as followed. So he gets 12 months for jail and then 12 months of house arrest. This agreement is contingent upon a judge of the 15th Judicial Circuit accepting and executing the sentence agreed upon between the state attorney's office and Epstein. The terms contained in paragraphs 1 and 2 do not foreclose Epstein, the state attorney's office, from agreeing to recommend additional charges or additional terms of... See, I don't know this here that it looks like there's the availability of additional charges. Epstein shall waive all challenges and information filed by the state's attorney's office, waive the right to appeal his conviction. The United States shall provide Epstein's attorneys with a list of individuals whom it has identified as victims after Epstein has signed this agreement and been sentenced. Upon the execution of the agreement, Epstein's counsel shall select an attorney representative for these persons who shall be paid. Okay, so he's basically paying off the victims. They're going to give him a list of victims and he's paying them off. If any of the individuals referred to in paragraph 7 file suit, Epstein will not contest the jurisdiction of the district court for the Southern District of Florida over his person or the subject matter. He waives his right to contest liability. He waives his right to contest damages for an amount agreed to with the identified individual in Epstein. So basically, part of this was him agreeing to, he has to continue paying them off. Epstein, so long as the identified individual elects to proceed exclusively under 18 U.S. 2255 and agrees to waive any other claim of damages. His waivers and failures to contest liability. So he can't contest liability, but they have to do it under U.S. 2255. What is that? Any person who is a minor victim of a violation. So there's no time limit for the filing under this section, no statute of limitations. So that's basically minors being a minor victim of these crimes. All right. So all of the minor victims by this agreement, all of the minor victims can just continually come and file civil charges against him, and there's going to be some type of payout. Epstein's signature is not to be construed as an admission of civil or criminal liability. Where is the mention of the other individuals in here? Except as to those individuals who elect to proceed exclusively under 182255. Oh, dude, there's a lot of legal jargon. I feel like I need a lawyer to look over this. Was this agreement crafted by Dershowitz? No, we don't know who technically crafted it. It was negotiated. It was after Dershowitz showed up, but it was negotiated with Alex Acosta and Epstein's lawyer and Barry Krischer. Okay. And this is a wild deal, guys. I mean, you look at the beginning, and it's basically saying, you know what? Jeffrey Epstein trafficked minor girls and engaged in using them for prostitution and using them for sex. And he did it for 6 years and with people we know and don't know. And we're basically making sure that nobody can ever charge him for this shit. I mean, it's insane. There is not a child predator on planet Earth who has ever gotten a fucking deal like this. This is insane. It is the most insane thing. Those first 2 paragraphs. It is like, bro, this shit is unfucking real, man. And he waives any opportunity to contest civil liability. So basically what it did too is it set up anybody who comes up and says they were harmed by him later after this can just go to the slush fund, and we can basically pay them to be like, gone, right? It provides a ginormous slush fund to silence every victim for eternity, right? And right here, it says that Epstein's signature, nothing can be construed that he's taking civil or criminal liability. Like, it also continues to essentially, like, civilly NDA victims for the rest of time. And yet he's not actually the one who was liable. He was acquiring no liability. I mean, obviously, it didn't really do much because he ended up dead, right? It didn't save his life. But Epstein shall use his best efforts to enter his guilty plea, be sentenced no later than October 26th of 2007. And so he had to plead guilty to those state charges of soliciting prostitution and soliciting from a minor. All right, Epstein agrees he will not be afforded any benefits with respect to gain time other than the rights, opportunities, and benefits as any other inmate. So he's not going to get any special time off or what have you, although he did get a work release. That was insane. Parties anticipate this agreement will not be made part of any public record. Okay? If the United States receives a Freedom of Information Act request or any compulsory process commanding the disclosure of this agreement, it will provide notice to Epstein before making that disclosure. So there's a privacy thing couched in here too. He understands the U.S. attorney has no authority to require the state's attorney's office to abide by any terms of this agreement. He understands it is his obligation to undertake discussions with the state attorney's office to ensure compliance to these procedures. It is his obligation to use his best efforts to convince the judge to accept Epstein's binding recommendation. See, this is weird because it seems like there's a loophole that the state's attorney's office could still like operate independently of this thing, that this was only applying to letting Epstein off with the federal charges. And here it is. Okay. In consideration of Epstein's agreement to plead guilty, provide compensation in the slush fund manner described above. If Epstein successfully fulfills all the terms and conditions of this agreement, the United States also agrees it will not institute any criminal charges against any potential co-conspirators of Epstein, including but not limited to Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff, or Nadia Marcinkova. For further, upon execution of this agreement and a plea agreement with the state attorney's office, federal grand jury investigation will be suspended. All pending federal grand jury subpoenas will be held in abeyance unless and until the defendant violates any terms of this agreement. The defendant likewise agrees to withdraw his pending motion to intervene and to quash certain grand jury subpoenas. Both parties agree to maintain their evidence, specifically evidence blah, blah, blah. So it's basically saying if he doesn't violate the agreement, they're forever absolved. But I think continuing to reoffend would violate this agreement, which we almost certainly know that Epstein was still with young girls after 2007, right? But there's their part, and they're named. Now, this is the part that I think Ghislaine Maxwell was trying to use in her defense. But here's the deal, guys. If they were able to prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell, there's no reason they can't prosecute these named defendants as well. I mean, under the assumption Roberts, Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh are on the list, I think John Roberts is on the list. I don't know about the rest of them, but I wouldn't be surprised if Clarence Thomas and was involved or connected to this. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he had a history with Anita Hill. You know, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. I know that there's a John Roberts on that plane flight log that nobody knows who it is. Right? And nobody knows, right? If we look at it, nobody's ever answered who that was. Right? Okay, there's factcheck.org says false, but there was a John Roberts that was on this flight list. I don't know what the fucking date is of this thing, right? But nobody knows who that was. You know what I'm saying? I know there's like a factcheck.org that says, oh, this is about this guy being John Roberts. No. That guy is definitely Jean-Luc Brunel on the island. But this is fucking bizarre. Right? I know that there's this guy, a Fox News co-anchor, who said that's not me. Okay? But this is a flight log that has a John Roberts on it that, you know, obviously it is entirely it is entirely possible that, you know, we don't know who this John Roberts is. You know what I'm saying? That's such a generic name. Yeah, it's a pretty generic name, but Elf, it's not a generic name of somebody who would be in the circle that could end up on this plane, because nobody ended up on Epstein's plane that was not in a fucking specific social strata, except the young girls. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a generic name, but it's not a generic name. There's not a lot of John Roberts that run in the upper echelon of, you know, this moneyed set. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy about this is nobody's ever really talked about this. And we know that, you know, we know that these guys are some dirty. All right. And but this is his agreement. Okay. It is crazy. So by signing this agreement, Epstein asserts and certifies that he is aware of the fact that the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution of the U.S. provides that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial. He's aware that the federal rules of criminal procedures provide the court may dismiss an indictment, information, or complaint for unnecessary delay in presenting a charge to the grand jury, blah, 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 blah. He requests the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, that was Alex Acosta, defer such prosecutions. He agrees and consents that any delay from the date of this agreement to the date of initiation of prosecution is provided for in the terms expressed herein shall be deemed to be a necessary delay at his own request, waives any defense to such prosecution on the grounds. What does that mean? I don't know what that means right there. Right? Dude, there's a lot of deep legalese here, dude. I need a lawyer right now, bro. Right? Because what it looks like it's saying, oh, okay. Signing of this agreement and breach of this agreement. So it's basically saying if he breaches this agreement, right, they can fucking go right to trial on this shit. And the Fifth Amendment rule is instituted. It may be, dude. Yeah, I don't know what that last fucking paragraph means, dude. Yeah, this is the craziest fucking deal that I've ever seen, right? And all these attorneys, he had two attorneys, and Marie Villafana. Who is Marie Villafana? Where is she right now? How does she have no online presence? Right? Marie Villafana. Marie Villafana. Dude, why does she have no fucking waiving his right to a speedy trial? Yeah, I guess he's waiving. I guess he's waiving his rights to contest anything if he breaks the agreement, right? I just don't understand how Marie Villafana has no Twitter presence. Anne Marie Villafana. Okay. So it's Anne Marie. Doesn't that seem weird? Doesn't it seem weird that, like, she is like has no fucking presence? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a little surprised by that. You know what I mean? Take care, boss. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that this attorney who was involved in this thing doesn't have like an online fucking presence. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a pretty high profile fucking. I mean, there she is. But it's crazy because, okay. She's MIA? No, it's weird, right? Because, you know, she is, it says this prosecutor tried to put Epstein away for decades. Powerful men maneuvered to stop her. So I'm not going to go into it tonight because it feels like another whole rabbit hole. And I got to go make some videos out of the shit we got. But what's crazy about it is there, I'm curious. I feel like she's another cog in this thing. This Anne Marie woman who is like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, dude, JD Vance is crazy, dude. JD Vance is fucking, I mean, he's from the suburbs of from Cincinnati, the suburbs of Cincinnati. But dude, he went to Yale. He's a like groomed, like venture capital brat. JD Vance is. Okay. I know he has this whole Mpma Appalachian thing and he wrote that book, but a lot of that is like, I feel like it's a construction. Okay. I think if you look at him, he never really worked. You know what I'm saying? He, like JD Vance, went right into sort of the tech bro venture capital shit. And then I feel like there was a retroactive sort of down home creation from him, right? The Vanity Fair article gives a ton of info in what? What Vanity Fair article about this thing? Are you talking about this Vanity Fair? Because we're going to look at this tomorrow, which is like the sort of like puff piece on Epstein from 2003 before he got busted. Is this what you're talking about? This Vanity Fair article tie-in? All right. Yeah, we'll scope it out. Dude, I'm going to make an Epstein video or two every day, guys. This is going nowhere. We're going to unpack all of this shit. Oh, got it. That's what you're saying? Dude, the editor killed the real story. Did they? Yeah. Dude, this shit, all I can say, guys, is we know this shit goes deep. And in particular, guys, what took place, I feel like Marsha Blackburn is she's a good indicator of this, right? I mean, we've seen the entire GOP, guys. We do need a leak. We need something because they found something, guys. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. They found something. If you go back to March, okay, in March, everybody in the GOP, Marsha Blackburn, there are videos. You have Pam Bondi, you have Kash Patel, you have Dan Bongino. In March, they were literally all saying, we're going to arrest all these guys. We are releasing all these documents. we're cutting this, we're shining a light, everybody's going to pay. And then they had 1,000 FBI agents go through this shit, doing deep shit into May. In May, they discovered something that literally the end of May, early June, they all started doing PR of like, there's nothing there. There's no list. There's nothing in the files. There's just some videos of Jeffrey. We're closing this case. All of them, they went dark. They literally went dark. Marsha Blackburn now is like walking by conservative reporters refusing to answer. Something was discovered in April or May. Something was discovered that is literally like a massive threat to Donald Trump and the entire GOP. And now they are on fucking lockdown. I don't know what they found. I don't know if it was like Trump being in it. I don't know if it was an intelligence angle. I don't know what it is, but there is something in there that 100%, like, they literally all just completely shut it down. They literally turned on a dime. You know what I mean? So something's in there, and I don't know what it is, but we're going to keep digging. I mean, I don't know how much I can dig being like little old me, but, you know, we have a small platform here. We're going to keep using it. We're going to keep digging. We're going to keep looking at all this shit, putting the energy out there. And then maybe somebody fucking, you know, leaks somewhere. There's got to be somewhere out there, right? There's always a leak. You know what I'm saying? There's always a leak. But I'm going to go get to work, guys. All right? It's time for fucking edit mode, baby. To mate yourself.
I'm still looking for something pure and sweet.
I found it.
Yeah, I'm a stranger when I'm always well. Don't you ever notice I run in place and you stand still? Complications always get me into these situations again, because I might be tempted.
Yes, do not flirt with kids, dude. Jesus. I'm in love. I'm in love. Let's go, baby. Dude, the shit is just fucking weird, guys. It is like, I feel like it's at the core, right? The shit is at the core of like the American political power structure. Let's go, baby! I will see you guys tomorrow! Me, yeah, yeah, yeah. You, I love you. Yeah, 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 I love you. Yeah, 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 I love you. Yeah, 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 I love you. Remember, tomorrow, guys, early stream, 8 p.m. It's going to be a short one. So I can go to the Mariners on Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow, baby. Let's go!
Hey, I just want to change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't want to hang around. I'd rather be found. It gets better. I wonder my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. breaking. You're radiant. Hey, I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I will never be alone.